Yo, people, welcome back to the YouTube channel. You already know what time it is. It's time for another live, the Chelsea breakdown. I did give it my best shot. I waited for Guni, man knows football, but unfortunately, the show had to go on without him. But hopefully he joins us in just a moment. I can't get a hold of him just yet. But big up everybody in the chat. We've got a different cast and crew today. We've got a lot of debuts on the channel, a lot of fresh faces, ready to discuss Chelsea, very much ready to get into the mix, an early review of our season and talk about the hot topics that are stirring amongst the fan base, because really nobody cares about international break. Nobody cares, right? I said it, if Cole Palmer cooks, we collect. If he doesn't, he's not injured, we keep it moving. It's all about Chelsea. It's all about how we perform. And we're sitting in fourth. We're in a good position. Maybe the over critical side of us be like, maybe we could have got a couple more points here and there because there were some nice fixtures. But at the same time, we're going to get points in places where people don't expect as well in this tough fixture list coming up. I have no doubts about that. Even last season, we had some tough fixtures and we had some fun games in it. But Tobes, bro, let me start with you. Welcome to the channel, bro. How are you feeling? How are you doing today?
Yeah, man. Gassed making my debut. Hopefully a good one. But yeah, with the season, I'm a lot more settled. Like, I think end of last season was good, so I kind of felt we'd continue that. And as soon as Maresca started speaking, I was like, no, this guy's hitting the right notes. Like, I'd missed having a gaffer that you want to hear what he has to say. I feel like Poch and Potter, I'd just clock out, especially Potter. But yeah, he felt like he was hitting the right notes. And then even in the City game, everyone was going nuts about, we've got 40 players and all this nonsense. And you could see there was more structure, and it's come about throughout the season. I feel like we're ripping teams when they come at us. So like this next stretch where we've got tough games, I actually kind of think it's suited to us. I'm like really excited to see us go away to Liverpool, because I think we could surprise a few. Like, we need that big scalp. I think that's like the last ticked box to go, okay, that little 2-year kind of banter era, really.
Yeah.
We've written that off a bit.
100%. Did you, I'm just thinking, did you get the home shirt and the away shirt? Because the away shirt's cold. I'm just looking at it now.
I haven't got the home shirt yet. No, I went for this one first.
See, now, I don't know about the rest of you, all YouTubers here, the thumbnails, the home shirt, the blue, it does stick out. It's color coordinated. Everybody understands it. That's why I bought it. I didn't buy it because I liked it, right? I wanted the shirt that he's wearing. The shirt that he's wearing looking good. Yeah, but unfortunately, I had to buy the home, but I'm warming up to it. Alexis, brother, talk to me. How you feeling? Welcome back. You've been on before, but you're doing your thing, bro. You're daily. You know what I mean? Come on, bro. How you doing? You good?
Not too bad, bro. Bro, I miss football. When Chelsea win, I just can't wait for the games. Last season, I was wishing the games away. I was begging for the season to end, but I'm happy. I'm ready. I'm just counting down the days for Liverpool. Genuinely looking forward to that game. And that's been a while since I've said that.
Yeah, bro. This feeling this season is so strange to me. I'm looking forward to the games. I'm looking forward to the press conferences. I'm looking forward to the substitutions. I'm looking forward to everything. Even players coming off the bench, I'm gassed.
Now people are complaining about who's not making the bench. People are like, do you know how positive that is? When this person should have made it. This person should have made it. Yeah. Long may it continue, man. Long may it continue.
100%. Even the training videos. Last year, bro, the training videos were cold, but it was like, bro, why are you showing me this? And then come the weekend, we just look like shit, bro. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm actually looking forward to watching them, bro. You know what I'm saying?
We go again Insta post. Now you're like, yeah, we will go again. Okay, cool. Whereas before it just felt meaningless, didn't it?
It felt like very repetitive. But Don, brother, first time on the channel, how are you doing? I've heard so much about you on my live chats. They say, Don, did you see what Don said? We need to get Don here. We need to get Don on this show. I said, all right, cool, don't worry. We got Don coming soon. You know what I mean? Title race talk and whatnot. We're gonna get into it because you know what I mean. I've been hearing things, Don. How are you doing? I've been hearing things.
Bro, I'm good, man. I'm good. I rattle a lot of people online, man, because I say things on camera that a lot of people think, but they're just scared to say it, bro, because they don't want to get cooked. You know what I'm saying? But me, I just speak my mind. You know what I'm saying? I always come with logic to back it up. I don't just say things because I'm a Chelsea fan. You know what I mean? So it's going to be a good show. We've got a lot to talk about, man. And yeah, Matisse, a lot of people have been in my channel as well. Like, say, yo, you need to link up with Matisse and that. So it's good to be here, man. But yeah, big up the chat. Big up the chat,
100%. 100%. And Javon, bro, obviously, all you can eat Chelsea, always on. But I said, yo, it's been a while since you were with the live chat as well, because we don't do lives at the moment on there. So I said, bro, this is a great opportunity for you to go again and showcase that Madueke propaganda. Because last week you weren't here. And Madueke, right now, he was a hot topic a couple of days ago. So it's good to have you back to discuss. How are you doing, bro? You good?
Yeah, man. We're good, man. We're there, ready to go. No bullshit. I call it like I see it. and people need to give these people time. So we're gonna get into it into the show, and I'm happy to be here. And
Yeah.
that midday for me now, so I actually have energy.
That's what I was also thinking, because I've been getting you up at crazy times, 6 a.m., 7 a.m.s in New Jersey.
5
Now
a.m. actually. So
bro, 5 a.m. Lord heavens, my apologies. So yeah, this is much nicer for you, and you're here. Big up the chat. Let's see. Guni's just chatting to me now. I think he's having an issue with his internet. So hopefully he can make it, but we'll see. We'll see on that one. Now, I want to get straight into this because we are fourth, right? We are a little bit, there's a gap with the top three. I think that was created after that Forest game. It's not a sizable gap. It's not alarming. It's not a massive issue, but there's something there. Doesn't massively surprise me because at the start of the season, I predicted fourth. I do think that top three is pretty locked in. I know some people feel differently in terms of Liverpool. They would like to chat to them, to have conversations with them. No better time than this weekend to talk to them because we literally play them at Anfield and it's a very difficult place to go. If we were to go there and do some serious damage, I think we'd hear a lot more chat from our side of town, but let's see what we do. But just starting with Maresca, guys, because this guy's coming. He's had the 60 player to deal with squad, right? He went very clear cut, very affirm and said, this is the number and the extra guys are not involved. They're in a reserve squad. And we got a lot of flack for that. We got a lot of heat for that because maybe the culture of the club, the way we treat people, etc. We'll get into all of that, how you guys feel about it. But Tobes, to start with you, bro, on Maresca, just how do you feel about a manager that maybe, I don't know what your stance was on him before he arrived and where you are now, but most Chelsea fans, I'll safely say, didn't really know maybe loads about him and didn't necessarily want him as a top 3-5 pick because he was kind of fast-tracked.
Yeah, I mean, well, initially kind of starts with that sacking of Poch. It was like, the way it was framed was that was a mistake. Sacking Poch was not a mistake. Like after that 5-0 Arsenal, he could have gone multiple times. We had a 5-6 game run and it changed people's opinion a bit, but it felt like a risk. Like going for Maresca, we're all sitting there screaming, especially because we're used to Roman, for 20 odd years, thinking just go for an elite gaffer, go get Tuchel back, go for Inzaghi, like go for what we know. And they went for the guy that was at Leicester, so it felt like a big risk. But obviously he'd done well there and comes from Pep's school, so you'd like to think, he has a bit of a brain on him. But yeah, it was the press conferences for me that were just, I don't know, I just got a different feeling. It just felt like he fit. He wasn't coming out like Potter. I think the first thing I noticed was when he was speaking, when he was joined Chelsea, was just the whole, the boys played well. Oh, we might be good in a bit, but you got to give it time. It was like, nah, that's not going to run here. Like no one's used to this. Yeah. And as much as pre-season looked like a bit of a mess, like you were seeing him try things system-wise. We looked like he was trying to get the best out of players as opposed to like just go out and play, which is how Poch kind of felt. I felt. But yeah, as the season's gone on, I've just growing and growing. They got the guy on me. So yeah, realistically, everything he's said, and even the players, I know people have attributed like Sterling leaving or whatever for it being a board decision, but him dealing with that to me felt like, I'm happy for players like that to go, where last year they were doing your head in and you think, okay, you're spotting the right ones, or you're not playing Colwell as a left back. It's like just little things like that give you hope, and then the results come, and it's just building with him, really, to be honest.
Yeah, because Colwell did actually have a few quotes going around recently to say he feels a lot more comfortable. He's enjoying his football more. He's playing his natural position. He's been brilliant so far this season. On the ball, even making massive defensive blocks against Forest. Alexis, bro, what do you make of Maresca at the moment? Because he's people are saying since Tuchel they haven't felt this affinity. I don't know if that's too far. I don't know how you feel.
So I knew nothing about him, I'll be honest. Like when we got him, but the one thing I really learned, and I think it's age in it. The older I'm getting, I'm really less reactionary on the things that we're seeing. So I was like, you know what? Let's see what he can do, and then we'll judge him after a period of time. But what I really like about him, everything I read is not true. They said he was wedded to one style of play. We're going to just keep the ball. But no, like in 6 games, we've already seen him tinker with the formation, tinker game by game. We've seen him tinker at halftime and change the way we're playing. So for me, just little things like that is really nice to see. I really liked the other day when he bit back at the journalists in the press conferences. something so small, and they said, "Oh, you got a fullback crisis." He goes, "What crisis?" He's ready to like jump out of his chair. And for me, little things like that just goes, okay, this guy's confident in that chair, and he doesn't care that he's the Leicester manager. He's genuinely, I deserve this job, and if I'm going to lose it, it's because I deserve to lose it, rather than I didn't give it a fair crack because I was trying to be someone else. All good for him. Let's see what he can do now.
Don, bro, what about you? How are you feeling? Because, bro, I'll be honest, he's ticking a lot of boxes in terms of just the way he carries himself and the way that he articulates the game. Last season, a lot of people, and myself included, and I don't like to say this too loudly because I did want the manager to be in last season. I did want Pochettino to be in that job. And he wasn't speaking about football a lot of the time. It was difficult to listen to at times. How do you feel?
100%, bro. Listen, I don't know if you've heard about my Y Scout. That's another thing that these lot tried to take the piss about, yeah. Because I've got Y Scout. I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of research on Maresca, because with Poch, I'm like you, Matisse. I remember I jumped on your channel actually. We spoke about him, and I said, bro, for me, I don't look at any manager right now who's going to be able to do a better job than him, because we've got a young team and he's got a proven record of helping young players. You know, at Tottenham, at Southampton, he's got Premier League experience. I would rather him over Enrique and that. Right, but he came in, bro, and he just did some crazy things that he was doing at PSG, you know. And if I did my research on his time at PSG, I would have never wanted him, right? But with Maresca, like I was saying, with Poch, the biggest problem we had with Poch was that he didn't know how to use the players that we've got, right? And I looked at our squad, I said, bro, I'm not going to be warped into thinking we've got bad players. Very similar to what Gerrard did with Aston Villa. Their players were good. He had them in relegation, bro, right? Our players were not as bad as what we were seeing. I kept saying this every single week. Maybe you've just overrated your players. I said, bro, why is Colwell playing left back? Why is Ben Chilwell playing left wing? Right? We just need a manager who is competent enough to just do the basics, the bare minimum. You know, I looked into Maresca. I'm seeing a style of play, possession style, what technical players would like to see. You know, I looked at interviews that Harry Winks was talking about, the likes of Snodgrass. They all said, bro, this is a manager who's very, very clear in his philosophy, and I've learned a lot from him. You know, Harry Winks has been managed by Mourinho, Conte. He said Maresca's the best manager he's had. He had Harry Winks looking like Xavi, bro. If you watch Leicester last season, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, bro. Harry Winks was looking like fucking Xavi in that system. That was all down to Maresca. So I honestly looked at it in my channel, because I've even got all the receipts from when we hired him. I said, bro, if this guy does not work at Chelsea, we are cursed. Yeah, I don't see a world where Maresca doesn't work, because his style of play is exactly what these players need, right? And his mentality as well, the way he talks, the clarity, bro, to be able to people to understand, like, you can speak English and you can understand what he's saying, right? That goes a long way. And it's showing on the pitch, bro. They've all bought into his ideas, and it's going down from the manager, bro. Second halves, we don't come out anymore and look like snowflakes, bro. We actually look like men when we come out in the second half. We go down. I don't feel like we're going to lose the game. Against Forest, we scored within 10 minutes. Against Brighton, we scored within 10 minutes after conceding. So there's been a mentality shift, bro. And there's been a change in the team. We're actually building a team. We're not Cole Palmer FC no more. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Don, and I think there were 2 occasions this year, and that's spot on. I think it was the Wolves game. We went in 2-2, came out, absolutely kept them to like 0.2 XG against us. And then the other day as well against Brighton, they had nothing in that second half. His adjustments at halftime are actually welcoming. Like, I don't, with Poch, I used to hate halftime because I was like, what the hell are they going to come out like?
Yeah.
So
and the subs were quite late as well at times.
Yeah, the proactive subs with Maresca's just been like, well, it was Neto came on halftime against Wolves, but then next week against Bournemouth, it's like, no, Neto's coming off at halftime. I'll put Sancho on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like when like the other day, for example, like, you can tell that he's trying to make some positive changes. With Poch, we kept seeing Alfie Gilchrist, Disasi, like people, like just negative subs to see out the game, bro. Starting games against Forest and that with 2 attackers, bro. Starting against Brentford away with 2 attackers, bro.
Making defensive sub on your 1-0 up.
Yeah, bro. You know, trying to protect the point against Everton. We've got a manager now that's brave. For me, bro, I'm like in life, I like being brave about certain things, innit? And that's why with the appointment of Maresca, I kind of sat back and looked at it and said, yo, we're not in a position right now to be asking for these world-class managers. We need to build this team first, right? We need to build the foundation before we can talk about winning managers and that. We need someone that can just build that first, and then we go from there, right? And that's exactly what we're doing at the minute.
Do you guys feel, it's open to everyone and everyone, we just roll with it now, but like, do you guys feel that the lack of injuries we've had it's hard to, I guess, apportion credit to, is it the new medical team? Because we did switch a few people in the back room in the summer, or is it the manager? Because
Let me touch up on that.
I like the way he's rotating the attackers and he's taking care of the Netos and the Nkukus. I know a lot of people are frustrated that, why is Nkuku not starting ahead of Jackson? Or why is Neto not starting ahead of Madueke? Or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, these are two players that we know are incredibly injury prone. When we signed him from Wolves, Neto, and I was speaking to a Wolves fan last week, they were like, Neto's great, but we only saw him for half the season. Or he missed too many games, 25 games, whatever. And same with Nkuku. I mean, we've literally didn't get to use him last year. So is he juggling? Do you think he's kind of had like a direct impact on that?
I think it's the best of both worlds. Because our medical staff, even previous to Poch, was absolutely horrific. Let's not forget that. But I think the best thing Maresca does, he manages. So he developed a style of play that is less physical as the Poch ball on the players. And one of the biggest indictment of that, what did Caicedo say? Oh, under Poch, all we did was run. Colwell came out and said the same thing. No, it's more intricate. Another example, Madueke, he keeps saying it's more intricate, and the gaffer gives them clear-cut instructions. And another thing that Maresca has done brilliantly, in my opinion, is the way how he manages those injury-prone players. Look at Reece James, for example. Technically, Reece James was supposed to be, what, 2 weeks before the international break? But what he did, he said, hey, we don't necessarily need you right now. We're going to give Gusto that push. So you come back after the international break. And then look at what he did with Gusto. Remember, Gusto came on in, was it the game against Borough? Or was it the Conference League game? One of those midweek games. He literally said, 45 minutes, that's it. Pulled him. Gave him a full 90 minutes at the weekend. We don't have another out and out right back. What he did the next game, sit Gusto on the bench and played who played right back? Was it
Disassi?
Disassi, yeah. We hate that, but because it was a lesser opposition, we didn't see as much mistakes. It wasn't a high profile game, but he had to do that because technically Gusto was supposed to be the rotating right back, but he's the only fully fit right back. So what he did, he manages that. Under Pochettino, run. The minute you're back, look what he did to Lavia. Look what Lavia played 32 minutes and we never saw him again.
He got told he's not ready as well. You know that? He got told he's not ready.
Look at what he did to Ugochukwu. Ugochukwu was one of our important midfielders last season because Poch relied on him a bit. He got injured. The very week that he was available, Poch played him in a full 90-minute game. What?
I think Caicedo was out that day, and then we just rushed him against Wolves, and then
for no reason.
Yeah. And Javon, you make some good points as well, bro, because that's something that I spoke about again when we hired Maresca. I said, bro, I looked into his injury record. Yeah, James Justin came back from his injury record ain't great, and same thing as Ricardo Pereira. He had a massive injury. If you remember that year we finished 12th, he got injured and he was out for the whole year, right? James Justin and Ricardo Pereira didn't have one injury between them last year, bro. Yeah. I compared Leicester's injury record to Chelsea's, and it was night and day, right? And when they sat Poch, one of the things they spoke about was we're trying to bring in a manager who's got a good injury record, like knows how to keep players fit. And like Javon has already said, you know, the style of play where we're keeping the ball rather than just constantly pressing, and in terms of training, more ball work instead of just running guard contest every day, bleed test every day. These guys are actually staying fit, and that's why for me last season when Poch kept saying, the circumstances, if we had Lavia, if we had this, I'm like, bro, you can't use that when you're hurting these guys, bro. You know what I'm saying?
You're the fault. You're the reason.
Yeah.
You're the reason,
bro. Kept hearing that, like, if Nkunku was fit, I would have played this way. And you're like, why was everything just around that one player? It just seemed mad.
You know what the maddest thing is? He had a quote-unquote style of play in preseason. He structured it around Nkunku. How the hell do you structure it around an injury-prone player? That makes no sense. And when the injury-prone player goes down at the start of the season, which it did, he threw away the whole thing and brought it back at the end of last. Man, I'm getting pissed.
And the worst part was, we were so heavily dependent on pressing teams and winning the ball high up to score our goals. And the minute we came out against low block, we struggled to even create chances.
This is my thing. Even against Nottingham Forest, I thought.
Yeah, the chances.
Now I have to give a lot of credit to. I know Sancho tailed off a little bit in that game, but I think he's been a big reason as to why our ball retention in the final third has improved as well, because he just doesn't give the ball away. He doesn't waste passes. He doesn't waste. He doesn't make the wrong decisions. he's very clean. He's very smooth. He's very aware of his surroundings. He looks after the ball very well. But even, and this is why when I couldn't really go too hard on that Nottingham Forest game. Obviously, when they go down to 10 men, the narrative is very different, and still gutted that we didn't win that game because we really should have. But we created chances and we didn't look clueless. It didn't feel like in that game we looked clueless as to how to get past their low block. We did create chances. Palmer had chances. There was headers from right in front of the goal. Like, it didn't, you know, those times where we used to literally, and I call it the circle of safety. We used to just go wide, cross, go wide, cross. We didn't enter the midfield. We didn't penetrate the middle of the pitch. We didn't go through teams. We didn't have that issue. So it was annoying, but even on that front, I think we're better. That's obviously partly maybe players as well, because you need intelligent players to get past a low block. Like a Palmer in a 10 makes a big difference playing through him, but also maybe the manager as well. But
share the graphic I just showed you, bro. That's gonna show you exactly what we did against Forest.
I don't have it down here yet, bro.
Not only that, though, I think Palace was like arguably, in my opinion, one of our best performances. Like from a performance standpoint, forget the finishing, right? We created so many high chances. It took an Eze moment of brilliance to basically, it was a sucker punch. Yeah. But if you look at that whole 90 minutes performance, we limited them. We created chance after chance, and we're just going to have some of those days because we don't have a killer in the final third. But we'll make top 4 comfortably as well. I don't think it's going to be close.
It's a different scenario when you're leaving the game saying we should have been more clinical versus when you're leaving the game saying we created nothing.
Yeah. It's not Burnley 2-2 at Stamford Bridge when they have 10 men and you're like, they could have won that game. We didn't control it even when they had, and we took the lead twice. It's a completely different narrative now.
Matisse, scroll up a little bit. I think you're missing the tweet at the top. It says it on the side there. Yeah.
So, I'll read it out. So Enzo Maresca will be pleased with the overall performance. Forest's defense have been exceptional this season. That was something I highlighted in my preview. I initially, because I was so confident, I was so excited for the game, I was like, yeah, we're going to win this game comfortably. But then when you really look at Forest, obviously going to Liverpool and winning 1-0, I think they had like the second joint least goals conceded before the weekend started with Tottenham. I think it was 5, and like the third least XG conceded in the league as well. But yeah, this Forest defense has been exceptional this season, but Chelsea hit an XG of 2.46. I saw that as well. Almost twice as much as anyone else managed against Nuno's side in 24-25. And I also saw that we were leading the league for open play chances.
Open play goals.
Open play goals. Yeah.
Yep. Goals and chances.
Okay, great. So yeah, that's another stat that goes in our favor, and that's the kind of stats you want to be leading in. I said a lot of time last season with Manchester United. I'm sorry I have to dig them out, but I'm also not so sorry because you man are horrendous. But your position at times can be fake. Yeah. Like if we look at the underlying metrics, if you're 16th, 15th, 17th, 18th in shots, in chances created, in etc., at some point, I'm a believer that will catch up with you because there's something fundamentally wrong in what you're doing on that football pitch. Yes, you might be scamming results, and we all love a shit house. We're Chelsea fans.
Once in a while.
We all love and appreciate a shit house. We all saw Barcelona away, at the new camp. Iniesta, Busquets, Messi, penalty miss or penalty, maybe Petr Cech doing his wonders again with a little bit of mind games. But we all have been under the cosh in a game of that magnitude, had to sit there trembling, crying, waiting for the final whistle and then just go and get those goals and just go home and say, listen, we were second best, but we won. But to do that over a long period of time over the season, that's when it's like, hold on a second.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
Yeah, because at that point, you don't have a basis of good performances. Shithousery just goes so far. Yes, we all understand that, hey, we have to get the 3 points. But long term, it doesn't help you. You don't move the needle at all.
And that's why, Javon, for me, like when you looked at the league table from 2024, I know people be like, oh, yeah, well, you can't really look at it like that because the season starts in August. Yeah, that's true. But if you look at our form from 2024, we've actually been the 4th best team, right? But it didn't feel like that because Cole Palmer kept saving us. Palmer kept saving us. I'm seeing nonsense on the pitch and we're just a one-man team. Palmer saving us. So it's like, in that moment, yes, I'm happy that we've won the game or we've drawn the game or whatever. But when I actually deep it, I can't really celebrate it because I'm like, yo, we're not performing well right now. Another loss is round the corner. Do you get it? And we kept getting away with it. We kept getting away with it, bro. Right? But now we're actually, like I said, we're starting to look a lot better because the team is being built as a team. You know what I'm saying?
100%. I was gonna also ask in terms of, because we're on the best parts, I guess, of our start of the season and the attack in terms of, we know that Madueke, Jackson, Palmer as a trio are doing very well for GNA. Madueke is set to smash his GNA from last season, which is great because there's an improvement there. Palmer is still doing his thing. Where does everybody sit on Cole Palmer? Because he is the talk of the town, right? He is the guy that everybody's focusing on. I guess we haven't had a player like this really since Hazard, where it's like people are really like the microscope is on, but we don't feel any stress. Like when I say that Cole Palmer is the best footballer in the Premier League right now, I don't feel stressed about it. I don't feel like I need to calm down because he might get arrogant or overconfident, or he goes on social media loads and he drinks his own, drinks his own Kool-Aid. I feel like I can say that comfortably and know this kid is built different. He's built different. His mentality is scary because he doesn't seem to feel any pressure, any stress. If anything, the more pressure, the better. And we've had players like that. Drogba, more pressure, the better. If anything, him not stat padding against Blackburn Rovers was a problem. Because then when people go back in history, the statistics, he doesn't smash in 20 goals season in, season out. But when you want him in finals against big clubs, when you go to big stadiums, he's there. Where does everybody feel like Cole Palmer can get to in terms of Chelsea? I'm talking top players now, because I don't want to say, I hate saying names. I don't like compare because Cole Palmer is just Cole Palmer. He's unique. Reminds me of Juan Mata in ways, reminds me of Frank Lampard and others because of the goals and obviously then the way he plays the game. But where do you think he can go? Like,
I can see Tobes about to answer that. Tobes, before you answer, let me just tell you a few stats, bro. Yeah, before you answer that, bro, he's got the same amount of hat tricks as Drogba, Hasselbank, and Lampard, bro. Right? In not even 100 appearances, bro. The only player in the Prem to score 4 goals in the first half. Yeah, but go true.
Well, we can only wax lyrical about Palmer. Like, he could end up there. He could end up there with any of them. Like, if he stays for his 9 years. That's the only thing. Like, that guy deserves to be playing Champions League football. I don't even think. I know we're saying like our best player in the Prem right now. I couldn't. I like to think, even if I was a neutral, I wouldn't pick watching any other player currently over him. Like any player.
I know what you want to say.
That good.
Yeah.
Mate, he doesn't. Like you said, the not feeling pressure. He plays every game like he's having a kickabout. Like, if he gets a pass wrong, he doesn't care. He's not going to be in his own head and he's like, that didn't come
against
off.
Forest. It wasn't quite going for him at times. Like, he was trying things, audacious passes. It wasn't, but bro, he just kept going and going and going.
Yep.
Yeah, he's just different. He really is.
That free kick.
We need to win trophies, though, right?
Yeah.
For him to go up there with the Lampards, the Terrys, the Hazards, because numbers wise, so far, it's unreal, right? Because I said we wasted his greatest ever season at the start at the end of last year. I was like, the numbers he's put up, I don't see him replicating it. He's making me look like an absolute melon now because he's doing it. Like, because it's unbelievable. Like, it's Messi and Ronaldo type stuff he's doing. Yep. If you just look, it's every game he's contributing with a goal or an assist, and you can count on him to put in performances with that. Well, there's no empty calorie performances.
More GA than Ireland the last year. Like, what is that? It doesn't make sense. And it's the fact that, like, we've had the Hazard Salah debates online, right, for years. And as a Chelsea fan, you're sat there going, "Are we really debating this?" We've watched these players. Like, come on, it's Hazard, right? But it's always the GA that's thrown at you. And with Cole, he's got all of that, but he could not score in a game and completely run it. Like, he doesn't. He's just perfect.
See, that's my favorite aspect about Cole Palmer, right? I don't know how you guys view the game, but I view the game from a creative standpoint. You need some form of creativity to truly enjoy this game, right? For me, Cole Palmer, you remember when he scored that 4 goals, right? That was lovely.
Which one?
Brighton. I'm more so impressed on that second half. You know how much players score a hat trick and then tail off and just kind of play the game safe? Man was putting passes on a plate for the attackers to finish. He could have easily left with 4 goals and 4 assists that game. The creativity is the best part about it, because you know what that means? If he goes through a rough spell where the goals dry up, the creativity won't dry up. And if the creativity doesn't dry up, assists breeds goals. So if you're an attacking player, if you've ever actually played, you only need one thing to go right to kickstart your confidence again, especially in front of goal. So what that says to me is, if he ever goes through a rough spell where he's not scoring, assist here and there, kick starts him to start scoring again. So he has that. It's like a double-edged sword that you can't come at him from any other way because he's gonna hurt you some way. You wanna put two people on him. Cool. I'm just gonna pop the ball off to Jackson, make movements off the ball, receive the ball, lay down a plate for one of my attacker. Matisse,
well, you make a good point. You make some good points as well, Matisse, because you got to think about the variety of goals he scores as well, blood.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? This guy scores headers, free kicks, penalties, bro. He scored, that goal against Everton, bro, to score his hat trick. Man scored from the halfway line. Like the type of goals he's scoring aren't just cutting left foot, near post. It's of the variety of goals from every single position, bro. Right? He floats everywhere, bro. You know what I'm saying? And for me, that's why I'm always saying to people, bro, just keep an open mind in life, bro. Not just in football, in life about certain things. Because when we were linked to Cole Palmer, because I watch a lot of Man City and I watched him in the academy and that, I was again getting cooked, getting called delusional on that, for saying I'm happy with the signing. Oh, why are you happy with the signing? I said, bro, if you watch this man for Man City, it's only because he had Mahrez ahead of him, Foden ahead of him, Bernardo Silva ahead of him. That's the only reason why you barely saw him playing. But when I did see him playing, he never looked out of place. He just needed the platform to do well, right? And I remember me and Guni were speaking and that. He was like, I said to him, I said, if any chances fall to anyone, this was before we kicked the ball last season. I said, I'd rather it to fall to Palmer or Nkuku, right? Because these guys are clean with their finishing, I didn't expect him to get this much GA, of course, but I knew that he was going to put up numbers for us because I've seen enough of him. But a lot of people were just, they want the big names. They want the big names. I like scouting, bro. I'm old school, Bring me guys I've never heard of. Vega. Look at Vega. None of us knew who this guy was. You know what I'm saying? When we brought him in. Yeah, now he's playing for Portugal and shit. Yeah? This should teach people that we've got good scouts, first of all. You know what I'm saying?
Done. I
The
think
thing is with Cole,
I can
just
go on.
Go on, go on, bro.
I think I can speak for anyone when I say, right, we wouldn't swap Palmer for anyone else in the league right now, would we? Genuinely, you can't give me anyone and I'd say, you know what, I'll take him over Palmer. No. And that's the best compliment you can give a player right now. Because there's nobody, like, I was asked, would you take Saliba over Palmer? I was like, no, thank you. I'd rather have number 10 over a centre-back. Would you take Haaland? No, thank you. There's genuinely nobody in the league. Even, like, this is going to sound really wild, but world football right now, at this moment in time, the last 15 months, who am I swapping him for? I know this works. It works.
Yeah.
It's
true, because, like, you already know this guy. It's the versatility for me. Like you said, the type of goals. West Ham, goal from the left-hand side, no problem. I'll score from there. We saw right wing last season. And when he was at Man City and he's playing against us, because we played against Man City a lot in Cole Palmer's last season. We played against them in the league twice, obviously, but also in the cup twice. Remember, because we went out both rounds to Man City. And it was very unlucky almost that we kept getting them in the cup because we were trying to win stuff, but we got Man City. And because they're resting and rotating and they're changing things, they're playing Cole Palmer. And he's on the left wing up against Aspilicueta, and he's dicing him up. Now, obviously, Aspilicueta's getting on, but this guy played left wing. We've not even put him over there. But when you see him go over to Sancho's side, he has no problem. So when people say, and I know I'm going ahead because he's not played for 3, 4, 5 years, and people want to, and I get it, and I'd be the same if I was a rival. I'd be like, he hasn't passed his checks. He's still got to pass these check marks and these milestones. But in terms of when people say, but just put 2 people on him, I'm not bothered. Because if you double up on the right side, are you going to track him to the left? Because he'll go over there. If he's in the middle and you mark him, like Ander Herrera Hazard, like, okay, you want to give him that much attention, where if he goes right, if he goes central, goes deep to start build up, if he goes 10, he's played false 9 against Arsenal in a draw at home last season, you want to go left, you keep following him about that pitch, because at least we've got enough quality to say, okay, whilst you're literally advocating your whole time to this one man, Madueke is in acres of space by himself on the touchline, ready to rip you 1v1. And that goes for so many other players that we have in the team. So you're going to have to dedicate so much time and effort to stop this guy, because even when he's having a game like Nottingham Forest, where he wasn't at his brilliant best, He's still getting an assist. He's still creating chances. He's still close to getting that goal.
I think one of the key factors he has that beats majority of those people that we wouldn't swap him with is ability to play line-breaking passes as an attacker.
The weight of pass is mad, bro.
Do you know how important that is? Look at Mbappe. People complain about Mbappe. One, he doesn't track back. Two, his creativity isn't all that. He's more of a finisher. Can we all agree on that, right?
Yep.
Cool. When in Maresca's system, who are the two players who start to press? Palmer and
Jackson and Palmer and Jackson.
And you know, I want to touch upon that as well, Javon, because last year, if you remember, we were getting told that on paper it was Chelsea create chances, but they just can't bag them, right? This was before Palmer came into the team because we signed him late. Remember, people, we signed him last day of the window. He made his debut against Forest off the bench, and then he started against Brighton in the cup game, But before that, the level of chances we were creating for Jackson was scrappy, bro. I kept complaining about it. I said, bro, I'm yet to see Jackson have a clear one-on-one on goal. Yeah, like a clear one. The only chance I saw him having, which was quite clear, was when he kicked it over the bar against Forest when Sterling set him up, right? Other than that, he was getting scrappy chances. As soon as Cole Palmer came in, plating him, feeding him as if he's a child, just giving the ball to him. So that's what I'm saying. And then that's why now, when you look at their goal contributions, it's the best in the league. Away from Haaland and KDB, it's the best in the league because that relationship they've got, Palmer helps Jackson and Jackson helps Palmer. Right? You won't find a better partnership in the league right now. People will say KDB and Haaland on paper, yes, but KDB can't stay fit. So we can't talk about him, right? You know what I'm saying? So that weight of pass, like I said, Javon, the creativity in his passing, a lot of it is down to the weight of passing. Even Sancho has it as well. Sancho is very similar. His weight of pass is spot on, bro. You know what I'm saying?
And if you look at that, Palmer being the focal point, there's no stats to back up his creativity and his connection with Madueke. His creativity and his connection with Sancho. So if he can develop that level of relationship with the two wingers, boy, we're cooking. We eating all here.
Even his relationship with Jackson, the West Ham goal, right? The goal against, I think it was Everton, where he had his little dribble, then he put it to Jackson, little flick. He flicked it back, then he scores. Bro,
Palace this season, Matisse.
Yeah, Wolves, he creates relationships with everyone. Yeah,
when we played Wolves, Jackson set up Palmer for the little lob that he got. That was Jackson and Palmer. You know what I'm saying? So
that's been a big part of 2024. Is like our players have started to like melt kind of together. You know what I mean? Like they're actually they understand each other. They know what their strengths and weaknesses are. Exactly.
Yep. Exactly.
It's mad. I want to get on to a more, not even controversial, but I guess more of it's an interesting conversation that's been going on the fan base is our other attacker. Because really Jackson, it's to go on and to go on and to go on. And we know he's not the most clinical, but he does some other parts of the game very well. And really, until we bring in another out-and-out striker, because I still believe in Cuckoo's more of a supporting striker. And I think maybe that game against Forest or certain moments in the season when you do need a different type of outlet, someone that's great, maybe aerially or whatever, even though in Cuckoo aerially he's actually decent, but he's not like a presence in that same way in the box. Madueke. How do we feel about Madueke on this panel? How do we feel? Because he gets his hat-trick against Wolves. Then there's some games where he doesn't get any, goals. He's not necessarily getting many key passes or assists or etc. But he is working his ass off to get back, etc. And then he gets the goal on the weekend. But before that goal, of course, he was taking his shots or his decision-making. People feel like he's greedy or he's selfish, etc. We had the whole incident last season with the penalty with him and Jackson. How do we feel about Madueke? Because we was in for Elise. We have Esteval coming in as well next summer. How do we feel? Because he was almost sold this summer. They were trying. Them ones where it's like, if you put in an offer, we could accept. How do we feel?
I'll stay with her now, but if a better offer comes,
Yeah.
I'm open. I'm open for business type
you know what it is for me, Matisse? Yeah, listen, I've always liked Madueke. From the moment I saw him, I've actually got a tweet from when he first came. I said, bro, I've got a lot of time for Madueke, right? And the reason why is because in modern day football, bro, we're losing direct wingers. Yeah, they're coming back now. Slowly they're coming back. But we went through a phase where we keep seeing guys just cutting in. And for me, bro, growing up here in the 2000s and that whatever, I've always seen every single team in the league having wingers that are running, bro. Yeah. Lennon. Let's go through some of them. Lennon, you had Wayne Routledge, Kieran Dyer. You know what I'm saying? You even had Jarvis and them man there. All these men were direct, bro, in Dogbia, right? I'm taking it back now, people, right?
My boy.
it was refreshing to see someone actually trying to run at their man. But the thing that was annoying with him was his end product. Right? I said once he proves his end product, he'll be a lot better because he gets in dangerous positions, but it's going side netting or he's hitting the first man from across. Right? And slowly but surely now, I'm seeing him making better decisions. His finishing's improving. Right? But in terms of being direct, he's always had that from day one, bro. When he first came, he was doing the same thing. But now he's putting a few more things together. Do you know what I'm saying? So this is a good player to have in the squad. Like even today for England, on the right, it was looking dead. He comes on, he adds a little bit of something. You know what I'm saying? Right? You don't want a player like Madueke running at you, bro. It's long. It's long, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Said it.
Yeah, I agree, Don. It was like, I'm sorry, give it one.
No, I'll go last. On this topic.
Okay. I think it was when he first came, I think he did have like a bit of a preference to come in. It was that Luton game, like that. I feel like the penny drop where it was like go on the outside as well. He became so much less predictable as a winger. And I think pretty much since that Luton game, that's where like Madueke has really flown up for me, like to the point that you have to start him, even though we've signed a Neto, we've signed a Sancho. At the moment, I look at it as Madueke starts. And I know the whole selfish aspect, but I kind of want wingers to be a bit selfish. Like, I'd actually say the biggest criticism I had of Hazard, as much as I loved him to bits, sometimes I think, don't just square it for Willian. You can just score. You can do that. And the fact that Madueke might not be Eden Hazard, at least he has the belief that he can be. You know, he has the belief to actually take that player and have a shot. Like, why not? If we're not creating a lot of things, it could go anywhere. It could fall at anyone's feet and we get a bit of a lucky goal. But those are the things that will, get us over the line.
But you know why he plays, though? And no one said like the reason why he plays. He works harder than all our wingers off the ball this year.
There you go.
Yeah,
that is it.
Yeah.
His work rate off the ball, has improved tenfold. I remember the game against West Ham. You know that goal we always see that Joao Felix scored when Enzo passed it to him. In that game, Emerson scored a goal, and it was because Noni didn't track his runner.
Correct.
I was fuming. I was like, this guy has no work rate. He's done this 2-3 times. I remember, and one thing we will give Poch praise for is Madueke's work rate because he installed that into him. Now, Noni knows if I work hard off the ball, I can do that little spam thing I do over and over again. I'll get the GA because I'm good enough to create the separation to get the free shots. But the way he works off the ball, it's better than Neto, it's better than Mudryk, it's better than Sancho, it's better than Palmer. Like, he will play. And we have to praise that because that's the difference between winning consistently and not conceding stupid goals.
The thing is, though, Alexis,
you brought up
go, Javon.
You brought up a brilliant point. I'm gonna show you whole life is a brute sometimes. You remember that West Ham game where Nani conceded a goal?
1-1.
I want you to reflect on this year's West Ham game. Who was at the back post at the 75th minute, blocking across where I think Bowen put in and Kudus had a simple tapping, but not who put the body on the line? That was Madueke, right? A lot of people, why doesn't he start Neto? Why doesn't he do this and that? But one, because the team trusts him. Maresca trusts him from he gets trust from the coach firstly. That's the most important thing. And we have a coach, if you're not performing, he will drag you. He will take you off. We've seen it done into multiple people at halftime, right? Secondly, his teammate trusts him. Go and look at the interview with Colwell. He wasn't BSing. He wasn't bullshitting. He's telling the truth. The team trusts him. There's a reason why when Palmer looks up, he looks to the right first versus going to the left, right? And another thing as well, we have a winger that's passive and we have another one that shoots too much. What do you guys want? I'm tired of seeing this hate on Madueke on the timeline. Oh, he's selfish. Well, Sancho is too passive. How much times have we seen Sancho kill a player, leave him for dead, and go back to kill him and leave him for dead again when he should have just taken the shot? Versus Madueke, he beats you one time, he's gone. Yeah. The only criticism I have of him, your decision making has to improve.
Yep.
I cannot defend you if your decision making is not going to improve. Some of your passes has to be on point. Some of your crosses, look up before you play that cross. Otherwise, from that, be as selfish as you want. Because we need wingers like this in the game. How much times are we going to complain that, I'm tired of Grealish. Grealish at City, by the way. I'm tired of you just recycling the ball. I'm tired of you not beating your man. Beat your man, but your decision in the final third has to be spot on.
Bro, he came on last year against United when we beat them 4-3 at the Bridge. He got a penalty from being direct, right?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and for me, we need to find a good balance because yes, he is good off the ball, but if we're constantly saying every week, okay, yeah, he didn't have a great game, but it's good defending, I ain't trying to hear that, bro. Yeah, if you're my attacker I better be hearing you doing something on the ball first, and then the defending comes into it, right? So if he's not doing enough on the ball, we're constantly seeing him not improving in that. We've got Neto for a reason, yeah. You drop his ass, you start Neto, and then competition in the team will go up because Neto off the ball is not a bum. He's another one that wins his duels. You know, he's good at tracking his man. He's quick as well. You know, so bro, he needs to carry on improving because I'm not looking at Noni right now and saying he's a guaranteed starter. I think he's in the 11. Yeah, cool, but it's like that. It's still you still need to do more for me to say this guy's guaranteed to start. Like Palmer, we all know Palmer's guaranteed to start. We all know Cole was guaranteed to start. Madueke is not in that bracket for me yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
No.
Not yet.
We've got rich people problems. Rich people
We do,
problems.
we do.
Like,
we've finally got nice problems and not just like how it's
And I was
been
going to
last
bring
2
up
years.
another one because we got Liverpool away next, and you just spoke about Sancho's. Well, Sancho for me is a player that is easy on the eye. He's a great unlocker of defenses, but Liverpool play a high line, and Liverpool will give you space, and it won't be so. You know,
Not so much anymore though, Matisse. Though you know, they don't really
well,
play.
yeah, true. They do control the game. They do control the game. They do keep the ball better. They do kind of slower the game down a lot more than they used to. But a lot of people feel Mudryk could be valuable in this game because of his pacing behind Trent. Obviously, that's where he made his Chelsea debut. He's been showing little improvements, steady improvements over the last couple of games. He had a lovely run and cross in the chance that was created for Nkuku. He had a good second half. I think it was against, was it Barrow in the cup or was it a Conference League game? No, Ghent in the cup.
Started that game. He played very well, bro. Very
played very well. You know, obviously set up Neto. How do we feel about Mudryk? And because there were people, there's a discussion right now, should he go out on loan in January? And how do we feel?
There has been clear improvement in Mudryk versus last season. You can't lie. You may not like the guy, but you can't lie. He has improved. When it comes on to the Liverpool game aspect, this is the game I want Maresca to pick his best 11 and who he chooses, but your game management gotta be on point. So if let's say Sancho starts and then during the game you see that, oh shit, I can use this, I can exploit the space behind, then you play Mudryk. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Use the game, use your management and your in-game tactics. If the option is there, use him. Otherwise, from that, start with your best 11. Because I don't think Maresca trusts him enough to give him a start. But there has been clear improvement, and his weight of passing has been better this season. I like that. So I'm becoming a fan of Mudryk, but he's not there yet.
Especially in a big game, there's still got to be an element of ball retention for me as well. I know Sancho's ball retention is going to be A1 in comparison. And what we don't want to do is set ourselves up so much for the counter-attack that we never get out. We never actually have spells of possession for 10, 15 minutes, even though it is at Anfield. And we never assert ourselves in the game to say, we can go toe-to-toe with you as well. We're not just going to sit back in a low block and prey on counters and prey on long balls and play on percentages. We're actually going to bop it about a bit, and you're going to be on the back foot for a bit. But I guess that's a stylistic difference. And that's where how pragmatic is Maresca going to be in these bigger games? Because we've only really seen City. And what are the contrasts from Maresca ball to Mourinho ball or to Pep ball to Arteta ball right now, which is really defensive at times and, you know, Tottenham away. We need to gauge the spectrum. How wide and how much is that?
I think what Javon said was spot on, because for me, I look at Mudryk in this game as a bit of second wind. You know what I'm saying? Against tired legs, bro, bring him on. Yeah, because you know, like you said, Sancho already, yeah, you know his IQ. You know you can trust him. You know his experience. You know he's going to keep the ball. You know he's going to keep playing those little underlapping passes to Cucurella or to Palmer if he's floating on that side. You know what you're going to get from Sancho. Mudryk isn't at that level yet for us to know what we're going to get. But I know off the bench, he can be a problem. Yeah, he came on the other day, bro. He crossed the ball on his left foot as well. That's one thing about Mudryk. His crossing has always been good for me. Yeah, it's just his decision making, which is meaty. You know what I'm saying? His crossing's mad.
It's all up here with him because, like you said about earlier about his raw attributes. Like Mudryk for me is. Do you remember when Mourinho did an interview about Luke Shaw like years ago, saying that he won man of the match? He said, "Yeah, we played with my brain." That's like what I want Maresca to be doing with Mudryk. Like that's his issue isn't how he hits the ball. His issue isn't how he can dribble or how he can evade, in tight spaces. Like he can do all that, but the way that he does it or how he makes his decisions is, fundamentally flawed.
Do you know
But
what,
yeah,
Tom?
in the game, yeah.
Go on, carry on, bro. Carry on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, in the game against Liverpool, like I said, if he comes on late, you'd back him to do something. But Vega will be playing left back because we've got Cucurella banned. And Vega and Mudryk were wicked, I thought, in the... I know it's Europa
Right?
League again.
Yo, their chemistry is...
They had a real nice thing there.
I was just going to touch up on that, bro, because you make a very good point now. Actually, now you got me thinking now, Tobes. You see what you're doing now? You got me thinking now, bro, yeah? Because one thing about Mudryk, he's clearly a confidence player, right? And one thing I noticed last year is we mainly played off the right and we barely gave Mudryk the ball. Now, when you're playing football, bro, and you're playing with a team, yeah, and you're not getting the ball much, in your head, you're going to be thinking, oh, these not think I'm dead. Like, they're not trying to give me the ball because they don't trust me with the ball. Vega, on the other hand, he just keeps giving it to Mudryk, bro. Lets him get warm. Yeah, he says, yeah, take the ball. Take it, bro. You know what I'm saying? Take it. Keep taking it. And those little touches that he gets with the ball, it actually helps him play better, right? So if he does start against Liverpool, I'm actually a little bit more confident that I will see a better Mudryk because he's got Vega behind him. I don't think Mudryk and Cucurella have the best relationship, in my opinion. I think what I've seen from Vega and Mudryk has been better than what I've seen from Cucurella and Mudryk. I don't think Cucurella trusts him as much, in all honesty.
You remember when he made his debut, his first full debut, and Cucurella was at left back? Everyone was screaming at Cucurella to give Mudryk the ball and play the ball in behind. I think that trickled down. They might be friends, but I think Cucurella just don't trust him enough. Because if you look at the relationship with Cucurella and Sancho, they don't even think when they're passing the ball. So I think there's a little bit of rigidity there. Not anything negative. There's just not that trust there between Cucurella and Mudryk yet.
100%.
I also think in that game, there's going to be periods where we're going to be under the cosh. And I don't trust Mudryk off the ball enough to play. Like, personally, I would go with two wingers of Neto on the left, Noni on the right. And I would want to be aggressive, front-footed in transition, let Cole dictate the play as much as we can with his spreading through. I don't know. Personally, I think this is a game that Sancho would sit out from if I was picking the team. But at the same time, I won't complain because I think he's been responsible enough.
And I think Mudryk put off the ball, man. I can't lie. I think I've seen Mudryk defend off the ball well as well, bro. Even Sancho defended quite well off the ball.
Do you know what? It's that lack of trust, though, isn't it? At the moment,
I don't trust him.
With those other players, we've got a bit of trust. We've seen him do it on a more regular basis. With Mudryk, like you said, he can do it, and we know he can do it. We know he can do a lot of things, like the goal he scored against Newcastle. He could be like immense, but you also just don't trust that little bit switches off.
Here's the thing with me, right? And tell me if I'm crazy. I kind of like what's going on both wings right now, whether it's Noni or Neto plays on that right wing. Because on one wing, we have that more tricky winger that's going to look for the pass, beat the player, and the other one that's more direct. I kind of like that balance. That way we can test from both angles to see which one we're getting changed out of in whatever game we're playing. And having Palmer in that middle, like Matisse likes to say, let me see who wants to play today. Let me see which one wants to play today. You know? So I kind of like the balance of what's going on. And it's more so decision-making from the two wingers. That's what's frustrating. But when you actually look at it from a larger style view, we can go through the middle, attacking-wise. If we go down the right, we know it's going to be very direct. So we need runners into the box, or Madueke will create space. And if it's Sancho, we know we need people to link up with Sancho because he's going to play that pass off. So that's why I wouldn't change anything. But I hear it. I hear the arguments, but I wouldn't change anything because we need to test to see where we're getting changed out of in the game. And then after we find it, we attack it like a dog smelling meat, you know.
Matisse, how you feeling? How you feeling going into the game, Matisse? Because look, over the years, we keep drawing against Liverpool. Yeah, obviously we had the blip. We had the blip against them last year because, bro, that setup was crazy. Yeah, Poch literally set us up to fail that game when we lost 4-1. Right?
That was a traumatic experience,
bro. That game. I don't know which was worse, that one or Old Trafford.
Or the cup final as well. Listen, the cup final goes right up there. The way that they brought on the Clarks and the Dans and the Bob the Builders and all these random people I've never heard of, and we lost in extra time,
bro. They brought Shiba, just bare crypto coins that I haven't heard of.
Yeah,
like, just random players.
If you deep it now, like when we play Liverpool, usually we draw, but we tend to have some very good chances against them. Now we're going against them with let's be real, we've got the best attack in the league statistically, and from the goals that we've scored, I think only Man City have scored one more goal. but most of their goals have come from Haaland. Matisse, how are you feeling? How are you feeling about it, bro? Are you feeling a little bit confident?
I was about to ask the same question.
Mm.
Who actually? Because I'm not thinking about we're not favorites, right? If you were to ask me, would I take a draw? I would take a draw right now because I think it's a very good result for where we are right now, and I'm not getting ahead of myself just yet in terms of we'll go to Anfield and we'll smoke these lot or whatever. But who here is predicting we're gonna win the game? Who here thinks we're gonna win the game? We know we can because we can go, goal for goal with the now. My problem is what's going on defensively. That's my problem in terms of this game because Liverpool got firepower. Diaz, Jota, Salah,
The thing for me,
we'll get to that later. But who thinks we're gonna win this game right now? Who wants to say that?
The thing for me, if we want to win this game, right, we need to control that midfield. And for me, playing Enzo higher up against Liverpool, bro, I'm not sure. You know what I'm saying? Because off the ball, I'd rather play Dewsbury Hall there. I'd rather play Nkuku there. I'd rather play Caicedo in that position. I'm just a bit skeptical about that.
In the pivot with Caicedo. I'm talking about
no, not in the pivot, bro. Because what it is, I think for this game, I think Maresca will play a 4-2-3-1. I think he'll probably play Enzo and Caicedo together. I don't think Lavia will start the game. If he does play what he's been doing in terms of like 2 8s, Enzo as one of the 8s, bro, off the ball, it's like a Teletubby, bro. You know what I'm saying? Against Liverpool, it's long, bro. It's long. So if we want to win that midfield battle, bro, Enzo has to be switched on because he's going to start the game. But if it was up to me, I would drop him for the game, start Lavia as the 6 and play Caicedo counter pressing because we've actually been improving with our counter pressing, but we win the ball back quite quickly nowadays. Yeah, off the ball, our structures looked a lot better, right? If we play Enzo in that 8, I just don't see how we win that midfield battle, bro. I'll be honest with you.
All right,
can I say something?
I
actually was just about to.
I think we will. I think we will win. I genuinely think we will win. And I've kind of thought that for a while because, like you said, whenever we've gone away from Anfield, I know last year, like you said, it was a bad blip, but those 0-0s, we always came away from it thinking, how have we not won that game? And the way, I think, to be fair, I think if we were playing Klopp's Liverpool right now, I'd be even more confident about a win. The way that they played, I'd be like, if you want to come at us, we will rip through a lot of teams. And we're already showing that this season with the goals they're scoring. Like, you can't afford to give this attack that much leniency because they're just too quick and they're very much in tune, especially that triangle on the right, with Palmer, Madueke, Jackson. Like, Jackson's perfectly suited for a game like this, to be fair. But for me, the only thing is whether Bob Sanchez decides he's a goalkeeper or not on that day. That's like the only thing that really worries me because as much as it will be a battle midfield, I get that. When you watch Liverpool, I watched them against Palace. I know they won that game. I'm not coming away from it thinking, oh, how are we going to lay a glove on this? I don't know. As much as they've had a good start to the season, they've had good results, and I'd still say they'll come third because I think in Salah, Van Dijk, Alisson, that's a different level of experience of high-level players that we don't have, where they're more of a guarantee for goals and keeping goals out that give you points. But we've got a lot of talented players that I think defensively we can cause them a lot of problems. And I don't see. And also, I know Kelleher's starting. I feel like that bloke only ever plays against us, and he just turns into prime.
They've conceded 2 goals this year, and none of me thinks, "Oh, this is an elite level defense that we can't penetrate." But they've only conceded 2 goals, and I'm still confident that we're going to create chances. And it's that old analogy: are we going to take them? Are we going to have one of those days where it's Wolves and Brighton, where we're absolutely on fire and players are performing? Or is it going to be Forest and Palace, where we're going to leave and say, we should have done better? I'm not worried about Viega coming in. I'm not worried about Toussaint. If anything, Toussaint coming in is not a problem. From set pieces, I think we'll be more secure and a bigger threat. It's that midfield. Either Enzo's flight needs to be a little bit delayed, so that they don't rush him back into the starting lineup. Or he needs to switch on and just be in position and perform like the guy that we saw first day of the season last year against Liverpool, where he ran the game in that second half.
We need to play him in the pivot. If we start Enzo, we have to play him in the pivot, bro, because we can't be leaving Caicedo by himself here to have Salah and all them man running at him because Diaz right now is on form as well, right? And Gusto hasn't been great this year. Gusto hasn't looked like the Gusto from last year. But what I will say in attack is if anyone's given Van Dijk and Konate problems, it's Jackson.
It's Nico.
Yeah. Jackson has given these man problems. He makes them run. Yeah, he done the same thing at the Emirates. I know we got battered against Arsenal, yeah, but
He dropped Saliba.
Yeah.
Bro, Saliba was chasing him from halfway line. I was even there at the game. I could see Jackson just leaving him, bro. Right? So in this game, I know we're gonna push them back. I know we're gonna have chances. It's more of a mentality thing and the midfield battle. That's the main thing I'm worried about, because I like Enzo, but I don't see him working in that 8 role long term ahead of others, if that makes sense. I want to see him in a pivot.
Yeah. So regarding that midfield, the midfield conversation we're having, I think Enzo, in my opinion, Enzo has not hit the heights that we know he can hit. Right. So no, it's with this big game ahead of us, right? Because this is a big game for us. The biggest decision for me, in my opinion, regarding Maresca is, do you start Lavia? Because Lavia has been fit, but we haven't seen him. So I don't know if he's trying to gear him up for this Liverpool game so he could start him beside Caicedo, because defensively, Lavia is more sound than Enzo Fernandez. And Caicedo has the weight of passing that maybe not at the level the best version of Enzo gives you, but then again, you don't need it because Palmer can pick up the ball to play those line breaking passes. Yeah. So could we set up in a case where we have 2 6s, same setup, but off the ball we have 2 6s and Palmer dropping deep, if anything, to play those line breaking passes and connect with the forward players. So that's my biggest worry.
Especially with Gravenberch. Gravenberch picks up the ball and loves to carry. He loves to carry it. And what I'm worried about is if there's a little bit of space and the gaps are too big between Enzo and Caicedo, he's going to waltz past Enzo.
Right through.
But with Lavia and Caicedo, I just think we've got a little bit more robustness in there. It's horses for courses, isn't it? This game, I get it. You go with those two. In another game, you need Enzo's passing. Like, I think Enzo's become criminally underrated as well in this fan base very quickly. Like, he went from being super overrated to now, like, oh, we can't play Enzo at all. We need to sell him. He's not good enough. I think we need to relax a bit. But it's just for this game, Anfield away, I would feel a lot more comfortable if I saw.
And here's the thing: if Enzo was on top form, start him, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
But he's not. That's where Lavia can enter in the conversation. And that's
the thing is, though, Javon, like with Enzo's problem against Forest wasn't wasn't off the ball for me. It was mainly what he was doing on the ball. He just kept giving the ball away in the second half.
His passing was weird.
It was so weird, but then it's like I still can't ignore the fact that I'd rather other people in there that have more legs. Because like you're saying, Gravenberch right now has been the best midfielder in the league. And running at Enzo, because Gravenberch is what, 6'3", 6'2", he's a massive guy, yeah? The physicality in that midfield is going to be a headache for Enzo, right? Enzo can hold his own, he's got the South American grit and that, but I'm sorry, he's not that quick. When guys are running past him and that, you just see him. That's
Man City.
Yeah.
The way he just dribbled past.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, I need someone in there, because let's be real, like, Man City have had quality over the years, right? Pep roulette. That's why a lot of people don't really pick Pep's players in FPL, because it's like, who's going to start this week? Dropping Enzo for the game doesn't mean he's not going to start the next game. It just means for this particular game, it's tactics, bro. Like, it's a healthy headache to have.
And that's where game management comes along, and that's the difference between a coach and a manager, or that's the difference between a good coach and a bad coach. Game management.
But say Lavia is not ready for this game for whatever reason, because he's so injury prone right now since he's come to us, not at Southampton when he was like one of the top 3 under 21 for minutes played, or top under 23. Say he's not ready. Do you trust Dewsbury Hall? Because one thing is, and I don't know if Renato Vega could have been ready for this type of occasion if we had Cucurella. I don't know if that would have come into your thinking. I'm definitely not putting Castell in there. So who else goes in there? Or then do you go with Enzo and say, right, Dewsbury Hall's not good enough, or he's not ready to play that level?
I'd rather Dewsbury Hall, man. Honestly, I'd rather see Dewsbury Hall in that role, man. I think that game where he scored was the kind of the homecoming of Dewsbury Hall, because he's been getting cooked, man. It's like, oh, he's not even any better than Gallagher and that. But again, he was another key player for Maresca last year, bro. He had, 26 GA in that season, right? In the championship. So he could definitely help us get goals and assists from midfield. In the last game, you can see that the shackles were off. He was playing very well, creating some good chances, driving at his man. We saw a little bit of flair in the midfield, and off the ball as well. He can help Caicedo. That's why I like Dewsbury Hall, you know.
But Dom, the problem with Dewsbury Hall is, and I think Maresca said it in his press conference, it's a completely different role for him now. If anything, he was the Palmer in that Leicester
Yeah.
team.
Yeah,
And Didi was the 8, and Winks was the 6.
Yeah.
And we've got and now we're going to ask him to do a lot more defensive work. And sometimes, I went to the Barrow game, and it's so interesting. You know, when you watch the game live,
yeah.
in comparison to watch it on the TV. So I was keeping an eye on him. He's not as athletic as people think he is. Like, he doesn't get around the pitch as quick and as fluidly and as combative as people.
It's better than Enzo.
No, he is better than Enzo in that scenario. But I think on the ball, he's not better than Enzo.
So your pros, cons, yeah.
Yeah, and I think Enzo outweighs
He's
that.
rated on the ball though. I think he's got a good weight of pass. I think his left foot is really good. I think for me, I preferred him. He's looked better coming off the right, but obviously that's Palmer's area than he has on the left for Chelsea, right? But he's got a good balance about him because he's left-footed. The issue that I've had when he started with Mudryk is they don't seem to have a good relationship. I haven't seen him start with Sancho yet. That's the thing. Yeah, and obviously, like I said, the left foot, but one thing about me, I just like left-footed players. I'm right-footed.
I was just about to say, do left-footed players get a bit more of a pass just because aesthetically they look good?
Bro, it's just nice. It's just nice. You know what I'm saying? It's just nice. I'm right-footed, innit? But I like left-footed players. And for me, I just trust Dewsbury Hall more off the ball, yeah? Because I've seen him go Anfield for Leicester and do well there. Like, I don't look at him and think, oh, if we start him, we're going to lose the game. I think he can still do a job. And maybe you bring on Enzo against tired legs. But I'm just concerned, innit? You know, if we dominate the game and our pivot looks good and that, cool, Enzo can shine. But if we play him further up, I've got my reservations. I'll be honest, man.
Yeah, that's fair. This super chat here was saying VVD and Konate are first and second for aerial deals. I don't think this is a game where I expect to see us cross that ball into the box one time. Yeah. In open play and set pieces, one negative from that Forest game that was clear was the set piece taking was not on point. And I said it on my review. I saw Sancho and I saw Cucurella having conversations about how to attack the ball, and I'm thinking, we ain't doing nothing on set pieces right now. Like, that's just not our bag. That's not our bag. We got to play the ball on the ground. We got to play a nice brand of football. We got to hit them on the break if it's a Liverpool maybe. But in terms of aerial, Van Dijk and Konate are patrolling their box aerially. Like, there is no way through for us aerially in this team. I don't see it. So yeah. Thank you for the super chat, brother, and I don't expect us to be doing that at all.
I'm actually worried. I was going to say from that, I'm a bit more worried. Actually, you brought up set pieces and those two defensively, set pieces worry me against Wolves, against Forest. Like, if you have Trent whipping in whatever with Van Dijk, Konate, even Nunez will probably miss, but you know what I mean. You've got a lot of presence there that. I mean, you brought up Tosin should help with that. He's a bit more strong or taller than some of our
Vega
other players,
should as well.
Yeah, good shout. But
all of a sudden,
I need to see improvement with a bit because we do look susceptible there, I think.
So is that because the set piece coach came in from Brentford? Do you think that's a profile thing, or is that because we don't have the tallest team, we don't have the most physically imposing teams. So how much is that in the recruitment, and how much is that on the coaches?
I think it's an amalgamation of the two. Yeah. I would say it's slight profile. No, but we haven't seen you know how, with Brentford, right? You see how inventive they are set pieces, even kickoffs at this point. But I haven't really seen a creative routine to get around our lack of maybe height profile-wise from a corner, like something that we've worked on quite clearly to manipulate and create space for a different way, rather than just whipping it in the box and having everyone on the keeper like Arsenal do or something like that. So I don't know if it's maybe because it's early days, so we'll see that more develop throughout the season, but I don't know.
I think we're a small team. I think this is
agreed.
No matter how good the coach is, we're not a big enough team where I think we're ever going to be like an Arsenal, where we have 7 6'2" or larger players. Like, Cucurella is small, Sancho's small, Palmer's frail, Jackson's good in the air, like in terms of headering it out, not maybe directing the header. Noni's frail. Wes is tall, but he doesn't seem imposing to me. And our goalkeeper doesn't come for crosses, which blows my mind. Like, this guy's 6'4". Like,
you know, here's Alexis.
And when he does,
what we need to do, because we've obviously got a problem aerially, right? And you can say physically as well. We just need to fucking outscore them. that's it. If they do score a set piece, it's only one, innit? Like, I highly doubt they're gonna score 2. Like, fucking touch wood now. But we just need to make sure we outscore them. So if they do score 1, we've won the game because we've got 2 goals, we've scored 3 goals.
It is
we're gonna have problems like that. We're gonna have problems like that.
Equally, it's like, well, you better score from that corner or we're on the break.
True.
One thing I will say though is because I was at the game, the last game, right, and I was watching us from the corner, so I was sitting right behind the goal, and the way we set up in the box now is different to last year. I can actually see there's something going on. We kind of go in like a box of 4, and we crowd the keeper all at once. But obviously the crosses that we were seeing last game were shit. Like Enzo, shit corners, Palmer, meaty corners. But I'm actually seeing us trying to do something in the box. You know what I'm trying to say? And maybe with Vega and Tosin starting, that adds a little bit more height, like what Alexis said, bro. And for me, we need that height. Cucurella gets spun by Salah a lot as well, people. Let's not forget that. Every time I see him against Salah, bro, he gets spun. You know what I'm saying? So I would actually rather see Vega for this game. And it's kind of a blessing in disguise for me.
Yeah,
I was even saying in the game against Forest, I wanted him to come on because if we were struggling to break down the low block, or we were struggling to score in open play, which we had enough attempts and we couldn't do it. The one thing I was thinking is how nice would it be if we could go to a plan B and start getting bodies into the box and start. I was like, what's stopping you from just throwing Disasi up there last 5-10 minutes and saying you're just going for knockdowns? Every time we aim the cross for you, you knock it down, and then we're just feeding off scraps from there. I know it's wild, but I've seen top teams throw centre-backs into the box before, bro.
Told Gusto he used to be a number 9, didn't it? It was a great opportunity for him to show.
Yeah, bro. Because it was 10 men. I was like, why not? You're going to win. Disasi wins every aerial duel he goes into. That's the one thing with that guy.
He's good in the air.
He has his flaws. He has his criticisms. But if you're attacking a set piece or you're trying to get crossed into the box, that brother will win the duel. And it's Barclays. That was a Barclays match. You win one flick on, it leads to something else, and next thing you know, someone's getting an advantage from that moment. So I don't know. It's something to look at maybe at some point.
What I need to see though, Matisse, in this game, bro. Like, look, the subs can't be as late as the last game, bro. Like, if things aren't working out, make the subs, please. You know, Nkuku didn't have enough time to get warm. Mudryk, he barely had any time to get warm. I need to see things a little bit quicker, especially if we're chasing the game as well. I know you don't want to ruin the momentum and that. I understand that. But we can't be giving guys 5 minutes, 10 minutes at the end. I need to see things happen a little bit quicker. I think Maresca made the right subs last game, but it could have been done a bit quicker. That's the only criticism I would say for him with the in-game management last game, man.
Right, wrong time.
Yeah, how do we feel about Gusto before I go to Super Chats? Because he had a lot of responsibility in that Forest game. Like, he was right back. He was right centre mid. He was a box-to-box underlapping 8 for Madueke. He was everywhere.
I feel sorry
new
for
role,
him.
isn't it? Yeah.
I feel so he's arguably got it built on a platform where I said something the other day. They asked me how many world-class players did Chelsea have. I said 1 in Palmer, 100%, and then you've got a bunch of could be based on if they carry on growing, like Caicedo, and I said Gusto, because Gusto defensively last year was very solid. Like, he's like an Aspie, a modern day Aspie. Can go forward, can go back. Nothing's out of this world. However, now he's being asked to do stuff. Like, midfielding is not easy. Do you know what I mean? Trent went in there for England and struggled. So it's like, now you're asking Gusto, who's an overlapping fullback, who likes to put in a cross, likes a one-on-one tussle, to all of a sudden come and be intricate. But at the same time, as soon as we lose the ball, make sure you press, but then get back into position and be focused to take on your man at the same time.
He was going forward as well. He wasn't even just inverting and playing in midfield. He was inverting, playing in midfield, and then getting forward, but just inside in the middle of the pitch.
Bro, he played 10, and Vega did it the other day in the conference as well. Like, when we had possession, he was getting into the pockets in that 10 role. And whilst it's all well and good when we're in possession, when we lose possession, I'm very old school. Get back in your position, and can my right back please be a defender?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Gusto. I think his end product hasn't been good this year at all, man. I think his crossing improved last year. I think he got 8 assists, all comps, but this year, bro, they've just been bad, man. His crossing's been bad. His shooting was bad the other day. He's getting used to the role, and I think he had a little bit of an injury as well that he said he's trying to sort of get back. I'm not saying that's the reason why he's been playing like this, but I know I've seen enough of Gusto to know how good he is. Last year, bro, for me, if it wasn't for Cole Palmer, I'll probably say he was our second most consistent player for me, right? On that right-hand side.
Yeah, agreed.
Very, very good. So this right now, what I'm looking at is out of character
Yeah, I think it's just teething issues. I don't really like you said. I just think we've seen enough of Gusto not to worry. It's just it's a
He hasn't been bad either, though.
No, I think Reece will be more suited to it if Maresca can get Reece James back to being fit, get the guy statue. But I think what's being asked of Gusto is more suited probably to him. But I guess
let's quickly speak about that as well. Yeah, Tobes, when Reece comes back, because he will come back if it's 2-3 games or whatever, right?
Yep.
Inshallah.
Listen, I didn't like what I was seeing Alexis in preseason of him inverting. I just think it overworks him as well. His knees. Yep. I've said his body. He needs bionic legs at this point. So we can't be playing him in midfield, right? We can't be playing that guy in midfield. So if it does come back in, would you rather a situation where we see Cucurella invert and then Reece go to a right centre back?
Yeah.
Or would you rather see like a pivot and Reece bomb on? Because one of his main strengths is crossing, bro. Like came on against Forest last year, got an assist straight away. What would you like to see Maresca do for Reece when he comes back, bro?
I think what you guys touched on earlier in terms of game management, like in certain games, I'd have him as that right-sided centre-back that Tuchel would sometimes use him in, and you have Cucurella invert. Like we did that against Bournemouth. They kind of switched it where Cucurella suddenly was the one that was a 10 at times as well. But like you said, when you're playing like a low block and you need a different kind of option, most of our games, I'd rather have Reece high and wide. But if that's something that's going to, impact him in terms of his injuries and they're managing that a bit more and right-sided centre-back is a bit more safe in that regard, I think that's what you go with. Because we know that's the thing with Reece. It's just a shame with the injury because you could stick him in any of the positions and you wouldn't worry about him. Like, you're going to get top-level performance. It's just how many of those top-level performances do you get?
I think that position is literally tailor-made for him. When we have the conversation of should it be Fofana or should it be Disasi or Tosin, it's Reece. Like, if Reece is playing on one side of a back three and Cucurella is on the other side, it is a passing map movie. The passes that Reece James can play from that right side centre back position. And then I'm envisioning what Azpilicueta did under Conte, which was just get into those areas where I can still give you a cross to Morata. But at the same time, I'm not up and down the flank because Madueke is holding the width. So I'm not overexerting myself and I can defend. This is the thing with Reece James. He can defend. He can body people. He can bully people. And he can be that player that plays in a back three, but can defend out wide and isn't exposed, but can also step into midfield because we know he's good on the ball. So I actually think that could be a position for him. It's not the most exciting Reece we've ever seen because the most exciting is wing back, getting forward, getting goals, goal against Arsenal, goal against Newcastle, like unbelievable finisher, crosser. It's a shame. But to protect the longevity of the player, I think at least a phase of this before, if he does a year of fitness, then we can go back to the old Reece so we can start to get closer to that. But just whilst we're in that moment where we need to get him back fit for a while, I think
I just want 25 game Reece though. Like I'm not even asking.
Yeah,
literally. I'm not even asking for 35 or even 30. Just give me 25 games where he starts 15 of them, 10 off the bench. I'll be all right, cool, it's a building block. We go from there.
With all of that being said, does he walk straight back into the starting 11?
No,
I don't think so.
Really?
No, not on ability, he could. But for me, because obviously Gusto's not
managing his minutes, I get it.
Gusto's not been brilliant. He's been underwhelming. But for me, I would play him in the Conference League. He's registered for that, right?
Yeah, should be.
He should be, right? It's just for Fofana, Palmer, that's not, and Lavia, I think. I would play him in the Conference League in the lower tempo games that are less intense and let him build a little bit. And then after that, start getting him into the Premier League. I'm just overprotecting.
And that's why I asked the question because of his injury record. Like at this point, should we give him a substitute role to build him up before we give him a starting role?
Yeah, for sure. Even Lavia were doing it, I think.
Because last season, Poch just threw him right back in there.
The thing is, we've got the privilege of doing it, Javon, because we've got so many players that we can play in certain positions. You know what I'm saying? We've got. That's what I'm saying. It's a healthy conversation we're having right now. You know, I remember fucking talking about Azpilicueta or Loftus-Cheek, bro, at right wing back.
Oh,
yeah, you know what I'm saying? That was the problems that we had before. Now we're talking about Gusto, Reece. Obviously, Disasi seems to be the third choice. Achimpong, I don't think he's being trusted at the minute, even though I want to see him develop. It seems like he's not going to be trusted. But I'll be real, man. Out of all the defenders, I think Cucurella's our best inverter. I'll be honest, man. I think when he goes into the midfield, he just offers a lot more stability, bro. Like that form that we had towards the end of the season, was mainly because of him. He knows how to position himself off the ball, and he's just a pest, right? He wins the ball back in there. He's good on the ball. He gets it. He just looks up, plays the pass. No dilly-dallying, you know what I'm saying? And he can get forward as well. So long term, if Reece does come back in to preserve him, I'd rather him stay back and then Cuckoo the one to go into the midfield, innit? You know what I'm saying? But I don't think Gusto is going to be used as a right centre-back with Cucurella there. I can't lie.
There was a super chat we got earlier. Go on. Say that. Say what you
I also would love, I know it's not going to happen. I would love for us to actually go back to traditional back four and have Enzo drop or Lavia drop right next to Caicedo, and that be the pivot. And then we can just build from there. Because we've got great fullbacks, and I feel like we're not utilizing them to the best of their abilities. You could have a more defensive one that's a support role in Cucurella and Vega on the left-hand side. And then let James and Gusto just be natural fullbacks and hold the width. But I just don't think we're going to do it. And it's frustrating because
the thing is, Maresca wants us to attack in the 5, though, innit? That's the thing. So you have to invert someone. If you want to do that, you have to invert someone. That's why if you play a 4-2-3-1, that's when you can do that, because you can have a back 4, right? But if you're inverting, we score more goals like that, Alexis. It's like, do you want to give up the goals or do you want to fall back? That's the thing.
Ad says, Oyo Savaloy up the Chelsea. What's everyone's most memorable Chelsea moment? Mine is JFH. What's that? I'm tired as heck today. Does anybody know what that means?
JFH. Oh, Jimmy Floyd.
Jimmy Floyd.
Sorry, of course. I knew it was so simple. And I'm like, yeah, my head's gone. I've been on a mad amount of shoots today. Left, right, head hat trick. Thanks for all the content again. Carefree. Big up, brother. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank is slept on, by the way.
Yes.
Slept on.
Yep.
Like, as a number 9, he is one of our very, very best. I'd say outside of Anelka, I think Anelka on natural finishing could be with him, but I don't really think I'm trying to think who else not Costa, not Drogba for me, on natural ball striking, finishing as a striker. I can't think of anyone else that's with him.
I saw something the other day. Hasselbank talking about Rashford, and a United fan put, look at this dead baller talking about a player whose laces can't tie up.
See what I'm saying? I can't have that.
I can't.
Yeah, other than Alex as well, I can't remember a Chelsea player hitting the ball harder than Jimmy Floyd. Like Jimmy Floyd was just
smack it, boy, from free kicks. Remember that boy? He's got an Emirates. Oh my word, bro.
Yeah, Matty tried to strike on him.
He's one of those players that I really, if I could grab them from that era just before we started being really successful, I would just grab him and put, because Jimmy winning a Champions League. A Prem. Jesus. It would have been...
if he just stayed and not had Kesman, he'd have won a league. Like if he, but I don't know.
He's mad underrated, you know. He's actually underrated by this fan base. I don't know where
bro. We don't speak about him. That's why I'm like,
never.
Yeah, we don't speak about him.
He's won 2 golden boots as well. Like one with us, one with Leeds. He
was unreal.
He was wicked.
But we don't speak about him.
For the super chat,
picking up stuff. But yeah,
for the super chat, the 3-2 against Everton, non-trophy related. The one where Lampard scored a screamer and Drogba scored a screamer. I think it was the late minute. That's one of my favorite memories.
Let's keep this non-trophy related because otherwise it's too easy. So I know people are thinking of Champions League final. I'm taking that. Just no final, no trophy related. Just best moment.
Two. One is the Hazard run when he just got Kashielmi spinning like a geek, like he just struck him off, and it falls, and then he scored. And my absolute favorite moment when Oscar and Barber flicked the ball around the great
Pirlo,
Pirlo, and whipped it top mids. He was the reason why I fell in love with Chelsea so much. But the way how he did that so nonchalant and then did the celebration, that was my favorite moment.
I'm gonna go with a game that we didn't even win, but I was there. And it was a time where people were learning their trade. Chelsea 4, Ajax 4. I was so entertained. The defending was terrible at times, but I was so entertained. In terms of like emotions, and because it ended on a high, because we came back from a 4-2, or I think I don't know if it was even 4-1, but Bro, I just enjoyed
4-1.
it. I just enjoyed the whole spectacle. And we there was no consequences. Like we still qualified. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It was just a great night. It was just a great night out. I just enjoyed it. So many goals, man. I was very entertained.
I was actually going to say, the Champions League final because that year when we first won it, Zambia won the AFCON as well, because I'm Zambian, yeah. So that was a mad summer for me. But I'll probably say when we beat Wigan 8-0, bro, right? Ancelotti's season.
Yeah.
That was because that season we were battering teams, bro. Like remember we battered Hull. We were just battering teams that season, bro.
Yeah.
That 8-0 at Stamford Bridge. Yeah, that's probably my most memorable moment. I'd probably say, man.
Do you know
I
what?
have a sneaky one. One sneaky one.
Go on.
Remember when we went to Real Madrid? We lost the game. Remember when we went to Real Madrid?
Yeah.
When team, bro, you
Yeah.
see the couch behind me? When
Yeah.
Timo Werner scored to make it 3-0, and I thought we were going through, I was in limbs. I was like, Timo.
Yeah. I say that was a lot that day.
That was crazy. That was crazy.
That was my
was
favorite
mad.
match going. If I had to sneak in another one, Lampard when his mum passed that Liverpool home
Against
game.
Liverpool, mate. Yeah,
Oh my
that's
God.
up there for me.
I will never forget that game. That was a lot.
I'd
That was a
go.
lot.
The best game I've been to was the 4-4 Liverpool Champions League when Alex scored that free kick and like we won. I mean, we won the first leg like 3-1 away, so it was a away goal. So you thought, it's job done, and then we were 2-0 up.
Yeah.
It was just like drama wise, like we didn't even win that game, but we went through, and it was just.
How can we forget the
that was
Demba
nuts.
Ba moment, bro? Mourinho pumping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
How
actually,
can
do you
we
know
forget that?
what? That
Dom,
I think
I was
that
bull-boying
hit
that
more
night.
than some trophies.
Your boo boy.
I was the ball boy that night. When I tell you, I went mad. Like they let us on the pitch at the end of the game as well with the players. It was literally one of the best experiences of my life. I wouldn't trade that.
You
in for
guys
nothing.
remember, yeah?
Nuts.
Mourinho was actually ill that day. He wasn't meant to be managing, but he found a way to like come because he was like, bro, I have to be there, innit? And then we just for Demba Ba to do that, bro, to stop these lot from winning the league. That was brilliant. We've actually got a lot of memorable games with Liverpool.
Bro, we
I
got
can't lie.
so
We beat
many.
them.
And Anfield, when we were the little horse and we went there and just beat them.
Callas,
Brendan
is that
Rodgers.
Callas' debut?
Brendan Rodgers, no, Torres.
You know,
yeah,
I was just
yeah,
about
yeah,
to
yeah,
say
yeah.
that UCL
Yeah.
semi. Yeah.
Yeah, loved it.
What happened to that Callas guy, bro? He played that debut, had a sick
Yeah,
match.
Callas,
and then
sorry,
yeah.
yeah.
You can see him again.
Pocketed Suarez.
Like, yeah, what
Pocketed
happened to that?
Suarez.
What happened to that Salah guy as well?
Ah.
What game? What
It's
game
mad
did
he
we-
played in that.
Yeah.
It's mad that he played for us in that.
Mad, yeah, it's true.
You remember the game that William pulled out that world class performance, but he like hit the post like twice, where he was
Barca.
like that
Barca.
Barca game.
Barca.
That was a good game. That was a good game.
It's
Someone
funny
just
because I
said
always
Napoli-
say
someone
Salah
just
has the
said
same
Napoli
amount of
Chelsea
Premier
as well.
League. Salah has the same amount
Bro.
of Premier League titles at Chelsea and Liverpool. I always say it.
He does. Someone just
He
said
does?
Napoli, Chelsea, bro. Ivanovic
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ivanovic
Whoa.
to save us, bro. Yeah. Remember
That
Raul
was
Morales against Benfica as well.
Yeah,
yeah.
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 Barcelona away, 10 men.
Yeah.
Which one?
Yep.
Which one?
Ramirez
We've had
lobbing
so many-
the keeper and then us
Mhm.
fighting for our lives for a long
we
time.
actually fought for our life, bro. That game.
Mm.
Jesus Christ. Messi missed a pen that game, innit?
I
Yeah.
can't remember a clock
Yeah.
being slower. Like you'd look up and it was like
Porto. It was
it
slow
was like
Porto
we
as well.
added time somehow. It was ridiculous. Yeah.
And
Porto.
every time I was like, oh, we're gonna do it. I was like, yeah, Iniesta moment. Iniesta. I had to remind myself, like, they could remember, like, because against when Iniesta scored at the bridge last minute, in my head we were gonna do it. So I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna believe yet. And then when you see Torres, I still didn't believe. And somehow we went around him. I was like, oh yeah, we've got
Do
this.
you know what it is? Yeah, to win that, bro, we had some mad games, bro. Because Napoli, we had to come back. Cavani was on fire.
Yeah.
The whole legs and that. Yeah, we had to come back there. We played. It was still play. We played Barcelona. Played Bayern Munich at their yard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro, we had some tough games, you know,
Bro,
to go win that.
And we almost didn't make it out the group. We went into the final game against Valencia,
yeah, we
needing
need
to win. And Didier stepped up with a brace, if I remember correctly.
Mad.
Yeah, I need to
It was
rewatch
good.
it.
Does
No,
anyone
no,
remember Reebok, Deco, Lampard, Drogba combination?
Oh, what the flex and
Yeah.
That's class.
That was that Bolton, innit?
Classic.
Against Bolton.
Yeah,
Mm.
Reebok.
Yeah.
We were on our bag that day. That was beautiful.
But do you guys remember Deco's volley? I think it was it was either a
Deco's
volley. It was
free
the first game.
kick at home.
The-
Yeah, Wigan.
And
Yeah, that's the
no,
one.
was it a free kick or
No, it was a long ranger, wasn't it?
Long
He
shot
scored
against Portsmouth.
against Portsmouth for his debut.
Yeah,
But he scored, I think
yeah.
it was like the
Then
next week he scored a free kick against Wigan. It was
All right,
he was
yeah,
nuts
yeah.
for a bit.
Oh, Oscar's goal against Juve. I don't know if you lot mentioned that.
Yeah, Javon meant.
All right, of course.
Both of the goals.
Oh,
really.
The Essien against Arsenal was just like
Oh yeah.
Essien-
I was in the
Essien
East Stand as
Barca,
well for
and
that.
then
So it was like
they're not clearing it properly in the same game. That was a lot of pain.
The
that
20,
it sucks that goal got ruined. It sucks that every Chelsea fan has basically gone, yeah, we don't talk about that goal. Like, it's a great goal, but no, we don't talk about that goal. We don't talk about that game.
I know it's not the heights of some of the moments that we mentioned. But for me, when we beat Real Madrid in that 2020, the last time we won the Champions League, the semi-final, that the second leg, oh, that was good. I was loving it. How we remember how defensively sound we were against that Real Madrid
that
team.
defense was fantastic.
Bro, we
We
dominated.
deserved that win as well. It wasn't like we hung on.
Yeah, it should have been 4 or 5.
Yeah, I love that. That for me, that game, and not to mention every time we beat City that season. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
Every single time we beat City that
We
season.
ain't beating
You know
them
what,
since
yeah.
we beat them in the Champions League, bro. We ain't beating
Yeah.
them since.
Exactly.
In recent history, there was only one period where I looked at this team and I was like, you know what? We actually might be the best in Europe. It was when we destroyed Juventus at home.
Yeah.
All the Cobham boys.
All the cover. And I was like, you know what? Tuchel might have built something special here.
Yeah.
And, we genuinely looked like a team that could go on and win that league. Little did we know Lukaku was going to do what he was going to do and everything.
And then
But-
Cole, and
then
then
James
Chilwell
and
Reece
Chilwell.
Cobham.
See, the injuries, it was
Yeah,
Kante
yeah.
and Chile, and
Two wing backs.
but because it was Juve, and it was like I remember we played Leicester, I think, a few days
Yeah,
before,
yeah,
and we were like
demolished them.
so good to watch. We were just
I remember one game. I think this game epitomizes what we were at the time. Remember the league when we won the league under Conte? That City game. Hazard. Costa,
yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, we demolished them.
Counterattacks.
Bro, that game did it for me. That season, we played ball.
and that,
That's what we need
That
to do. That's what we need to start doing now, bruv. We need to start going away again to these bigger sides. Like Arsenal, bro. The Emirates was Drogba's home. That was his yard. Yeah. Every time he went there, I think he's got a goal at every appearance at the Emirates, right? He used to bully Arsenal. Now Arsenal come to the bridge. That you won't hear at Arsenal. They just take points. They collect every single time, bro. Even last year, bro, we drew. I was at that game. Yeah, it felt like a loss. Yeah, it actually felt like a loss when we drew against them because we were better than them for good 70 minutes.
Was a moment.
Yeah, Sanchez booted it to
Yeah,
Rice.
Sanchez to Rice.
But this is why when people ask me over the last couple of weeks, are we in a title race? Because look, we're not that far off. I say, I know what a title winning Chelsea team looks like. I know what even a title contending Chelsea team looks like. And this team is not that team. And this stat, just to bring it in, is a large part of why. Like open play, unreal in terms of the XG. Set piece, horrendous in terms of the XG. And we can see it. We know this team physically is not imposing. Even the centre-backs, when we do cross the ball in for corners, we don't look at them and say, they're Van Dijks, they're Gabriels, they're Canates. They don't have that presence. And that's the type of presence that you have to be a title-winning team. Even Wes Morgan and Robert Huth had it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Cahill used to score.
I think Hoof scored 2 away at City, didn't he? Yeah.
Let alone Cahill and Terry and
Ivanovic. Score headers for fun.
But the thing is,
Ferdinand.
Do you think that obviously I know we haven't got the tallest team in it. That's just facts, yeah. But at the same time, against Wolves, we saw Jackson scored like it was from a set piece.
Yeah.
Obviously, the last game, the set pieces were shit. We've got a set piece coach now. I feel like we need to give it a bit of time, man. Like to see it out, to see if we've actually
just going through the team. Do you think going through the team, right? Jackson, physically hold up the ball great, but in the air, we know even though he scored that header, we know Jackson in the air is not levels. Centre midfield. We don't have
Enzo
aerial
Caicedo.
guys in there.
No,
Even when
no,
Lavia
no.
comes back, Lavia is not a physical monster like that. He's actually more.
In the words of Fuad, no real men. There's no real men in that
Even
midfield.
you can give it time, but just based upon what we're going up against, line them up, boy, as they said on the interview. Cat Williams, line them up, line them up, machine for machine.
his camera died.
Can you still hear me? Why's my camera?
Yeah.
Bro, machine's
giving
not even
some free
working,
promotion.
bro. The machine's not working.
I'm in the promotion right now, bro.
Do you know what I mean? That's just how I see it. But let me switch camera. But yeah, go on. Next thing I was gonna bring up actually, just whilst I fix my camera. I'll turn it off. Next thing I was gonna bring up was recruitment. That's how I was gonna end this. So, how do we feel about Chelsea's recruitment? What's the confidence levels amongst you guys out of 10? You can anybody take that question out of 10.
Eat a solid 8.
Well, for this summer,
Are you talking for
Or
this
as
summer
a whole?
overall?
As a whole, I guess. Or
it's an interesting one, isn't it? Because there's
We've got more
missed.
hits than misses, bro. We've got more hits
yeah,
than
there's
misses.
just it's the same at the same time. You go, how is Sanchez still in goal? Like, how do you know what I mean? It's like I really like some of the players you've got, and I think inevitably they will get better. Especially, I know they've gone with the sort of young approach, but in terms of the players they're getting the right types. But then they'll do kind of weird things like, look, I don't even mind João Felix or anything, but it was just a bit of a weird buy that obviously they weren't going for him. They were going for a Marodian, and then they switch, like little things like that. Or you think surely a keeper.
Hey, Felix will surprise you. Leave my boy alone.
Mate,
Listen.
I don't mind Felix. I just think it clearly wasn't. They clearly didn't go into this transfer window thinking
Nah,
they signed
they
Felix. That was more my.
But when you think about, obviously you've got the likes of Paez, you know, you've got the likes of Esteval, you know,
Yep.
some of the best young talents coming through. You know, you've got the likes of Vega, who again we didn't know anything about this guy. We just randomly get the here we go. Neto, so they're bringing in names. Sancho, you know what I'm saying? Jackson, we didn't even spend 35 million on this guy, right? And he scored 14 penalty goals last year in his first year, bro. You know, part of the best partnership in the league. You've got Gusto. No one knew about this guy. So we're finding, you know, good players for good price who now are double the amount that we paid for them. You know what I'm saying? Right? I like shrewd signings. That's what I like. You know?
So let me say this.
Yeah.
Let's split it. I'm gonna split it for me. Scouting wise, I can give him a 10 out of 10.
10?
Scouting.
Scouting.
Okay.
Listen,
Even
Bro, I'm
10 is perfect. We do know that, right? 10 is perfect.
they did find some gems. Scouting
Andre
wise,
Santos, bro, 12 mil for Andre
bro,
Santos.
I
Yeah.
cannot. The
yeah.
scouting, I cannot.
I reckon Palmer alone makes that a 10.
Exactly.
Okay, okay.
Maybe.
Listen, scouting wise, I'll give him 10. When it comes on to negotiating and the other side of it, then that's where they get a 4 for me. So that's gonna look how much deals they should have gotten over the line, which just takes a bit of mature negotiating and moving the border or just having the nuance with certain decision making. Because how much times when we got some of the bigger name signings over the line, they had the what's his name? His name is
Eghbali had to come in.
Eghbali had to step in. When
Can
you
I-
have
can I-
proper scouting directors, that doesn't necessarily happen on a regular basis.
On the scouting, the reason why I won't give it a 10 is because we haven't built a winning team yet.
Yeah.
To get to 10, you have to build a team that wins the Premier League. I say Chelsea right now in their Arsene Wenger Emirates era. Lots of 10s, lots of technical players, very silky, very sexy, very good on the eye, very fun to watch, very enjoyable to support. I don't know why my camera keeps bugging. I don't even care anymore. But 10 means you've built a winning team, because that's the end goal. The end goal is to win. The end goal is to be in Champions League finals, to be Premier League summit. We're not there yet. Now, because they're all young, they could become that, and that's when I'd give them a 10. But that's foresight. I can't give them a 10 yet because those guys still have to develop into that. And they have to have recruited a balanced team for that to materialize and me say, right, we've ticked all the boxes. Physically, we're not imposing enough for me to give us a 10 because we're still lacking things after $1 billion spent. I can't give them a 10. You can't spend that much money and we don't have a goalkeeper that's top or that we think will become top. Now, we might have Mike Penders, and like I said, it could become a 10, but I'd give it an 8.
So that's
Yeah,
the thing.
bro,
But we
that's
ain't seen him enough. We ain't seen him enough.
That's why I said
I'll give it an 8.
Let me tell you about
8.5.
Jorgensen. Let me tell you about Jorgensen, Matisse, because I managed to watch a lot of his games back, and initially I wasn't fully convinced. I don't know if you guys know about a keeper called Valles. There's a keeper called Valles that plays for Las Palmas. Yeah,
Las Palmas.
I wanted him. I wanted him over Jorgensen, but it's very clear to me to see why we brought in Jorgensen, because on the ball, he's better than Sanchez, bro. Yeah,
Hey, my man's better than Sanchez on the ball. The fact that he's a ball playing goalkeeper is worrying.
Again,
no, but the
It
thing
is very
is, though,
worrying.
his shot stopping, Alexis, his shot stopping, yeah, is not.
He's good.
Let me just break it down. His shot stopping is not meaty. He's got good enough shot stopping, but I look at him more like an Edison. You can't consistently get him pammed in that, yeah, because he's not as good as Alisson in terms of his shot stopping, or even a Valles, right? But last year when he was playing with where did we win from? We're going from Valencia, right? Villarreal, sorry.
Yeah.
They conceded over 60 goals, and a lot of the chances I'm seeing him saving, bro, were unbelievable saves, bro. Unbelievable. It's like they had no one in their midfield. It was like us. They were just running through them, and he's saving them in so many games. So, like, for me right now, Sanchez is actually doing quite well. I know against Brighton he had a blip. You know, he lost his head. They were getting in his head against Brighton. The fans were singing against him, and that he lost it. Other than that, I think he's been pretty good this season, right? But if he messes up, you lot will see what I'm talking about with Jorgensen, bro. On the ball, that guy is night and day, bro. He's very, very comfortable on the ball in comparison to Sanchez.
But here's what I was saying. The reason why I give them such a high rating for scouting, I cannot make this point clear enough. Only for scouting. It is not up to where. First, let me say this. We're coming from an era where our ownership, when they're signing people, we already know them. We're signing big name players. That mold has completely switched. It is not up to any one of us to find these people, but it is up to the scouting directors to find those players like the Palmers, like the Gustos, like the Vegas, those gems, and bring them into fruition. We're talking about them in this high regard. For those gems, I gotta give them a high rating. Yes, you're gonna have these people here and there, but how much of that is up to the instruction given from the board that we need to sign players so we can flip them? Look at there's Santos, Ugo Chuka to some extent, Estaval, Payers. We didn't know about these guys until these scouts found them. So that's why scouting wise, I'm going to give them a high rating. When it comes on to the other part, then I hear it, man. I hear it.
No, and I think what's important to realize is, right, normally when a club has a normal window, unlike what Chelsea have normalized now, it's 4 or 5 players. And if 2 hit and 2 are, everyone's like, oh, that's a good window, right? The problem with us is we're signing 9. So if 4 of them don't hit and 5 do, people only focus on the negatives. And that's what lingers around. And especially when you're not winning, it's a stinky, stinky smell. Like, so I just think in reality, time will tell. And I think there's been a lot of transition, right? We had the Bowley window, then we had the window where we spent money like it was going out of fashion. And then I think it was last summer under Poch where there was a little bit more structure in what we done. January was nice because I think we signed nobody, which was actually refreshing for the first team. You know, like it was just nice to we'll work with what we have. I think this summer though, Elise was part of the plan. I think we can't go away from that. I think Sesko was also a serious person that they went after, and they didn't get their number 1 targets. Maybe it'll work out for the better that they didn't, because what we have at the moment is good. So overall, I'm at a 7. I like what we have. Now I just want to see it contribute to trophies. And honestly, a Conference League and a 4th place finish with a Carabao Cup, I'll be over the moon, genuinely.
I want to see us get back to Wembley again, man. Honestly, bro. Like, if we had this manager last year, yeah, I reckon we get over the line against.
I actually think we get top 4 as well, because we've actually been since November. We're 4th in the league. Like, it's a sustained period of time now that we have been the 4th best team in the league, and it felt like that even when Poch was frustrating at times. You kind of felt like Villa are decent. Don't rate Spurs. United aren't very good. Like, it's not a case of we think this is an amazing Chelsea side. It's just that there's the top 3 and then there's the rest, and I think we are the best of the rest. So I just want to see. I want to see Cole Palmer lining up for Chelsea with Champions League music playing. I want that as you deliver that, and then the trophies will come, because we know we're going in the right direction. Then, like, it's just.
I also think it's so important to win trophies, just to A, keep the fans calm and back in the project, and B, to keep Cole Palmer and other players that are within the team right now that are flourishing. So that, look, we've won some cups. Next year we're going to press on. One thing we can guarantee is this ownership will spend. Like, that's the evidence that we have, right? That they will spend money and they'll try to improve the squad. Because you don't sign players like Enzo for 100 million, Caicedo, Lavia, Mudryk, unless you're kind of trying to win, like, yes, it might not be the finished end product players, but they're spending money to improve us.
So, Matisse, let me ask you just to finish up, yeah?
So,
Yeah.
Just on that, yeah. So, obviously, you're a little bit more reserved about competing and whatnot. Now, let's say we get over this period with eight points, right? So, that's obviously 2 wins and at least 2 draws, yeah? Against Liverpool, Arsenal, you got Newcastle. Who else have you got in this line? In this
Man United.
Man United.
United as well. We ain't beating them at Old Trafford in 11 years.
Yeah.
We come out of that with at least 8 points, 7-8 points, bro. You know, and we're still in and around it in January. You know, these lot want to go spend. We've got Roman on steroids, bro. What are you saying then, bro? You know what I'm saying?
For a title.
If we come out at this period right now, are you looking at the team a little bit more differently?
So, hand on heart, for me, there's absolutely no title race this season. No
Agreed.
title race this season. Like I'm very, very sure about that, and I'm very okay with that because I don't really. My battery died on the other one, and it's dying. Like that camera's been exhausted all day, so I actually feel for it. So that's why I'm looking into this one. So it's a bit weird, but I want cups, bro. I want us to win our cups. Like we need to win trophies. I don't want us to almost overexert ourselves in the Prem, chasing something that we can't have. It's like chasing a girl that's not really interested in you. The Premier League title is not really interested in us this season because we're not ready. The bank account hasn't balanced.
We're not
We
trippy
haven't
yet.
got our shoelaces tied. We don't have
we're not trippy yet.
Like, we don't have our cufflinks, bro. We don't have. Hold on.
Yeah?
We don't have our cufflinks, bro. We're not. We don't. We're still wearing links.
Now,
Yeah,
Matisse,
we
let me
should
remind you,
move
though.
on.
Let
We're
me
not
remind
ready,
you, yeah?
bro. No, bro. We're not ready. But
Let me tell you something. Let me remind you something, Matisse.
going all the way there and getting third or second, and when you could have just won the cups. Get the cups, bro. Win trophies. That's what we need.
Matisse, let me remind you, though. Let me remind you, bro, because Arsenal, they finished 5th, right? The following year, nobody expected them to compete, bro. A lot of Arsenal fans weren't even putting them in the top 4, right? And they finished 2nd that season, right? Now, in the season, I'm going to be real with you. If we're still up there in January, these owners are going to want to go win the league. They've shown me that ambition already. I'll be very surprised if we leave January without bringing in more firepower or bringing in like another centre back or whatever, because they will be looking at it.
Hold on. You said they've shown you that ambition already.
They've shown me the ambition
because at the start of the season, it was Maresca was saying, I'm not under pressure to finish top 4. I don't have to. Like it's not part of the remit. Now, let me ask you something. If we're in the conversation in January and the window opens, and we've been talking about the scouting. And we're linked with 18-year-old, 19-year-old. How does that change for you? Do you now want to go in a different direction because we're so close? Do you want guaranteed like guys that are gonna come in and impact a title race that know and have been there and done it? Or it's tough to get those type of players? Do you want more experienced players now? Or do you go down now we can buy teenagers? Because this is my thing with Chelsea fans right now. We are very happy with the scouting. However, how I saw Madueke perceived in the last week told me that this still has a lot to learn in terms of development, appreciating development, improvements in players, understanding it will take time, understanding that it's not all going to come together at once. Now, if you are in the mix for a title race and Arsenal are with you and the hatred gets to you, and now you're like, and then Madueke makes a mistake on a 2v1 and the decision making is not quite there. What now? This is what this fan base I want to see, because right now people are telling me 10 out of 10 scouting. When we get into these uncomfortable positions in the table, when you're going on Football Terrace and it's a back and forth argument and you need 3 points, in a game that could give you the title, but your young players are not quite ready to deliver. I don't want to see these players getting abused because position, not by you, but by Chelsea fans. I don't want to see these players getting abused, right? Because they're not ready to deliver on something that they were never ready to deliver for in the first place. That's
what I'm saying is, if I'm seeing the team
tonight,
I get what you're saying, bro. What I'm saying is, if I'm seeing the team consistently improving, I'm seeing, we're still able to maintain a lot of fitness. Look, let's be real. Arsenal right now, bro, they don't even know if Saka's fit. Yeah, like that's one of their main players, right? And I've said already, like if Saka can't stay fit, I don't think these guys will be able to go all the way because he gets a lot of their goals and he gets a lot of their assists, right? They're missing Odegaard as it is already. You've got Liverpool. For me, their squad ain't great. Gravenberch can get injured any second. They've got Enzo after that. Man City ain't got Rodri anymore, right? when you look at our squad, Matisse, right? Right now, we've actually got a fit squad. And like I've said, we're improving minute by minute. So if we're still up there at that point, expectations can change. I can look
But
at it. Oh, I want us to
I
go.
love that.
But then,
Just
isn't it fair
what?
to say? Isn't it fair and just to say for this season, given that it's Maresca's first season, isn't it fair to say let him get to the highest level he can finish at this season?
No, but guess
so
what,
then, hold on. So
Go
then
on.
next season we can have this conversation,
I was
and
gonna say,
everyone on here can expect a title race. Because
No,
here's
but-
the thing with me,
Go on.
I would love for him to do the best he can to get to a base level, because you know what that means? The next transfer window, he knows definitively what he needs to take his team to the next level.
Agreed.
what I
That's
think
why-
this season is.
Go ahead.
Sorry, no. What I think this season is exactly that. Like, I think you're spot on. Like, if you remember when Mourinho said in 13, when we stopped Liverpool in the league, and that team didn't win anything that year, but he called them a little horse. He said, you know, there's two horses at the front in the race. This horse isn't ready to race. It's a little horse. You know, after time next season, then we'll race. That's what I see with the Chelsea side. I see lots of nice pieces where it's not complete. It's not a jigsaw puzzle that's completely filled in, but it's getting there. And people are now kind of waking up. In the summer, everyone's going, 40 players. And we were very aware. We're like, no, we've got some talented players here. It's not a complete mess as much as people think. And you're seeing that more on a more consistent basis, to the point that you go into next season and Enzo Maresca goes, I need that piece, and that piece.
Yeah.
And then maybe then you can start to be a title race team. And then it becomes being champions, etc. But like this Chelsea side.
No, I agree. I agree with what you're saying.
But I was going to throw out. I just wanted to answer the question.
I like it. But I want to ask.
I agree. No, I agree with what you lot are saying. But I'm putting it out there. I'm putting it out there because when it comes to that point,
I do.
you know what I'm saying?
But I need to
When it
ask you
comes to
something
that
that you didn't
point,
answer just yet. If
Go
we're
on.
in the conversation in January, will you be happy to continue with the current recruitment strategy in terms of the under 21, 22 bracket? I'm not talking about Netos and Sanchos because that's what I wanted in terms of balance.
Yeah.
We can talk about how Neto got here with maybe George Mendes, and we can talk about how Sancho got here and like Felix. And was it really in the plan?
It's not the norm for them to come.
It's not the norm and it's not the plan. But
Yeah.
are you happy to keep with the plan if we're in a title race?
Bro,
Yeah?
listen.
Yes.
As long as if we're gonna make those signings that are gonna go into the first team straight away, I've been consistent with this. Yeah, I'm happy with it as long as we're still boosting the first team. Do you get it? Because at that point, if we, for example, say fuck it, let's go to Turkey, let's go bring Osimhen, let's go add more firepower now because we're not scoring the set pieces. Yeah, we're not scoring the headers in the box. Let's bring an aerial presence into the box, right? Let's go bring a centre back because Badiashile, every time we see him coming in, he's not looking good. Let's go bring a centre back because we was linked to. Who's that centre back was linked to towards the end of the window? They
bought that Anselmino bloke, didn't they, as well?
Yeah, but he's not going to come back. He's not going to come back. We bought Anselmino. He's very good. He's very similar to Fofana, but on the ball, he's like Levi Colwill, bruv. Very, very comfortable from the back, Anselmino. I like him, right? But all I'm saying is when we get to that point, expectations can change, right? You can look at it and say, yo, I'm happy with top four. If we get top four, brilliant. But aim for the stars and you'll land on the moon, bruv. If that's the saying. You know what I'm saying? You got to aim for the top, so you make sure you land in that little bit there because, bro, if there's blood to be, I can smell blood. You know what I'm saying? If I can smell blood at that point, I want guys to keep scoring, bro. Keep scoring and do it like that, bro. Yeah?
I hear you, but so let me just say this. I agree with you because I do think expectations can change, and I don't believe that if Chelsea found themselves 10 points clear, I don't believe that the same expectation would still be to finish fourth because that would be now a drastic drop off, and that would be like a poor run of form. However, the closer you get to the top, the higher the pressure and intensity, not only from the fan base, but from everyone around Chelsea and on these young players. I say that because they're still developing, they're still learning, they're still making mistakes, they're still missing chances. And now the balance in that between we want to win the league because we haven't won it since 2017 and it's up against Arsenal potentially directly for a title race, and these guys are young and they need an environment to still be able to express themselves. It's a very, very dangerous.
That is a brilliant point.
It's welcome. I'm just saying, if it goes,
that is a brilliant point because here's a question I'm going to pose to you guys: who in our squad currently has been under those circumstances?
I think just Reece, not
being a main player. Being a main player, the Champions League is one thing, but being
I was gonna say Reece is probably the only one, isn't he?
And not even him because he wasn't there at the tail end of the season. And even if you were supposed to bring in quality, one player cannot necessarily bring the rest at 25 across the line in terms of handling and understanding what you need to do under those circumstances and that pressure. So that's why I would love if we could compete and next season we go ahead because guys know, okay, this is what it takes to get there.
Listen, it's as simple as this, right? If we get to January and we're within 5 points, all of our chests are going to be out because we would have seen 19 games to tell us that we're basically here. Do you know what I mean? So let's see where we get. I think the next 4 games are massive. If we somehow, right, so say, for example, we get a draw at Liverpool, we beat Newcastle at home, we go to United somewhere we don't normally win, we win there, and then we come back and beat Arsenal, wait, 10 points from 12, everyone's expectations shift. And then that little nice run in at Christmas, all of a sudden pressure's on there. Let's pick up, let's use the points, use our squad, and we're going to be super positive.
Yeah, but
what I don't want to happen is what happened in my comment section when we dropped points against Forest. This team is rubbish. We ain't getting top 4 because a top 4 team will drop points like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And we need to accept it. And as a fan base, I think we need to stop we're trying to run when we haven't started jogging yet or even started walking yet. Let's be a little bit more humble. Or at the same, we can dream in it and we can be optimistic. But at the same time, I don't think we need to be so dramatic if we drop
100%. I just kind of look at things right now because end of the day, I look at our bench. If we weren't Chelsea fans right now, just looking at it objectively, right? Look at the options we can bring off that bench, bro. We can change so many things.
Crazy.
The squad depth is crazy. We're making 11 changes, and the team that's playing, the second team, is looking like the first team, bro. We're scoring goals. Defensively, we're looking better. And we're only in October, right? A lot of people now that were saying Chelsea aren't going to get top 4 are putting us as favourites for top 4. All I'm saying is, if we manage to get past January and we're still up there, I promise you now, Matisse, I'm not just saying this now, right? A lot of people are going to start saying Chelsea are in the title race.
I know they will.
Yeah.
And I am going to take the pressure away as much as possible. And I'm going to be like, we just move. We move.
Yeah.
Until we hit 66 or 67 or 68 points and top 4 is secured. That's my thing. Secure
Agreed.
Step 1. Step 1 complete. Now what's step 2? Because I'm not going to be on the beach, right? I'm not going to be on the beach to say, oh, the season could just peter out. This ain't Southampton or something. You know what I mean? But get step 1 sorted first. Before, I used to say get 40 points in our darkest days. I don't do that anymore. Thank God.
That
but
Bournemouth
for me,
win.
we do, like you said, walk before you can run. Step 1, get in the Champions League. Get it done. Because also, right now, we're resting players in the Conference League. We're playing our second string team. There will be an interesting dynamic when we get to the latter stages. Do you play your strongest team in the Conference League? And if top 4 secure, but you're not going to get the title, do you start to tinker in the Prem? I don't know. I personally, I'm really against tinkering in the Prem because, it's the Prem. But that's another side to it as well because we're probably not going to play this B team in the Conference League the whole way. We should win it, really, with that B team. But I'm sure when the registration comes in January, Palmer's going to be registered. I'm sure, you know what I mean? So it will be interesting, bro. But right now, top 4.
I was having the same exact conversation with Lewis and CB and history. Like I told CB, 1 game at a time.
Oh, he's getting carried away. He's getting carried away already.
You saw it, right? He was crazy.
But CB is polarized though. He goes that way and he goes that way. With me right now, I'm not saying we're in the title challenge. I'm just saying if we get to that point, then my expectations could change. Right now, I know it's a top 4 thing for us. Bro, challenging without a striker for us is a long shot, bro. I don't trust Jackson. I'll be real. I like him. I just don't trust him. But carry on, bro. Carry on.
Yeah. What I was saying is, it's as simple as this. Even when we're at that stage, I hope we're at that stage. It goes back to the basic of what it takes to be a title-winning team. Take it 1 game at a time. Teams that win title don't look at the schedule. They look at who's in front of them, beating who's in front of them, and moving on. Right? So, as of now, we should be operating like that. And then, if God hope, Father God please, if we're in that position, we continue in that continue like that and pray for injuries. And Nkunku gotta step up. There's still a point to say Nkunku, Felix, and Neto has to impose themselves on this team. Because if we get the best out of them, then we have no arguments.
You'll know how serious this team is in probably the next international break. Like, when we've got those games, because even the Conte League winning year, like when we came 10th the year before, so you didn't quite trust that team, and they beat United 4-0, and it was like, oh, okay, like we're a bit more serious. Then it was like Everton. Then it was like
20 seconds.
Yeah, Pedro, and then and then it was that City game, and you went, oh, they're real, like they're really we're in, like we're not just in this, we're going to win this. We are the best team in the league, and it will be the difference maker. Can you go away to Anfield and if they go and win there, then you know what I mean? Just results that make people kind of realize, stand up and realize, like, oh shit, they're not that team we've been kind of laughing at. They're serious.
Let me remind you, fan as well, Batiste, but all of you lot, right? If you lot remember the narrative last year, I'm just coming with facts now, people. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting things in you lot's heads so you lot remember this, right? Last year, the narrative was Chelsea do well against the top 6 sides. The problem was against the lower teams. Remember, we lost against West Ham. We lost against Forest. We lost against Brentford. You know what I'm saying? We lost against these smaller teams that we should be beating because we struggled against low blocks. Now, like Matisse showed earlier, showed the stats against Forest. We've had the highest XG against the Forest team that had 10 men. And you don't know when you've got 10 men, it makes the game harder. Look at Man City. They struggled against Arsenal when they just shut off shop, right? So this year, bro, we are going to get more wins against these lesser teams because we've just got more firepower. We've got more quality than them, right? So the difference we need to have this year, if we want to be up there, is getting over the line. Because we drew twice to Man City, we drew against Liverpool first game, we drew against Arsenal, right? All them little draws, and losses, they need to be a draw or a W. That's the only way we're going to be up there.
Those three we haven't beaten since Tuchel. None of those three. We haven't beaten like one game above any of them. So it's like you've got to beat one of those three to.
But even to be up there, we would have to replicate the same form against the top 6 with just added wins against the lower teams, and that for me is the bigger test. Can we replicate the form against the big six last season? Because we already lost the City. This Liverpool game is everything for me. Because if we can go and beat Liverpool and pick up 3 points against Arsenal, I'm not fearing United, and I'm not fearing who else is up there.
Newcastle at home.
Do you know what it is? For me, if we are in the conversation that Don is talking about, I will be shocked.
He won't even say it.
Bro, because I feel like you're like me, Alexis, bro. I feel like I don't even think about this possibility because I see Forest, I see Palace, and you can't have too many of them moments at home dropping points. We talk about, we've won our games, but those 2 games, you don't drop points in those games too often. I just don't see it in this team right now to even be in that conversation, especially when I look at the physicality and the set pieces. If they can go and prove that point wrong and go be above and beyond, and because Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, there's maybe no clear front runner, everybody's taking points off each other, and you just rise out of the dark shadows and just appear. I can smell what you're cooking, bro. I'm just not. I don't know. My belly's grumbling, but at the same time, I could wait. You know when you're hungry, do you know what I mean? I could wait, bro. I could wait.
This team is
fasting, Matisse. Intermittent fasting.
Yeah, like I'm hungry because it's been a while since I ate a big meal.
You know what it is, Matisse, you know what you're doing right now? I don't know if they used to do this in your school. On Fridays in my school, we used to have fish and chips. That was luxury meal. Yeah. You don't want the luxury meal. You're happy with the little sandwich and that. You know what I'm saying? You're happy with the little sandwich. You know? Me, bro, if the luxury meal's there, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? If I can smell blood up there, bro, I'm showing you, bro. I will happily back this team to go and do something.
Peckish. And you know why?
This season,
I'm peckish. I am peckish.
This season's a Thursday, though.
Yeah.
This season's a Thursday. That's how I think you have to look at it. It's like we're nearly at Friday, but we're not.
You know why you feel like that, Dan? I think you're like me, where you're looking at this league and there's not a team out there that you fear.
No.
You know, our last season we were timid. Everybody that pulled up, we were scared. This season is different. Like we don't fear nobody. We're ready. And
I got into every game after last season, worried that we could get slapped up. Literally, Newcastle coming to Stamford Bridge. In my head, this could go really badly. Can the boys just please get the W? I don't care how. when really they're earning the faith where I should trust them to turn up and do their jobs. But I don't, because I had 2 seasons of 12th and 6th, and I've been scarred. I've been humbled. I've been genuinely humbled. So it's like, now let's rebuild some faith. Let's put some foundations down. Let's get top 4. Let's get a Conference League. Chant that we're the only team to win all 3, and then we build next year.
Bro,
And
Conference League, I'm gonna be shameless.
before we wrap up, one of my main points has always been, I'm not here to be a bridesmaid. Like, I don't really care about finishing 2nd or 3rd or 4th. The points tally is important because I think it shows progression. Ollie's 2nd is not the same as Arsenal's 2nd last season, etc. However, I don't take any extra pleasure from we pushed them real close, Liverpool. But
it's a very small
with
club.
Man City. It's like, oh, but you were the better team, but we really pushed you, and it was really fun. And thanks for the memories, and thanks for making us better than. I don't give a shit, bro. Either we won it or we didn't. If we didn't win it, we better have won some cups. That's how I see it, bro. Because the day I say we're in a title race, I'm saying we're in a title race because I think we're gonna win the title. Because my chest, if I think we're in a title race, my chest won't be, oh, maybe we could win it, but we're second best.
Exactly.
We're the best. We're going to be the best.
Matisse,
what I don't want to be.
You need to realize that we're not the only team that's facing adversity right now. Because yes, you can talk about their set pieces and that, yeah. But like I've already told you, bro, Arsenal have a 22-man squad and they've got a few injuries already. Man City haven't got Rodri, bro, right? And they're probably gonna go sign someone in January. They can go sign Zubimendi in January. Liverpool, like I've said, I don't rate their squad. Even Sam said it himself, bro. If we lose Gravenberch, it's down to Endo again, yeah, down to Gumshield settings again. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just looking at it right now. I'm saying, yo, we've got problems at home, but so do they. And so do they.
All I'm saying is, in those teams, you can count 4 or 5 players that have been at the top end when it's crunch time, when the pressure's on, when you have to win every game in March, April, and people are really watching you. Not now, in October, at the end of the season when it's crunch time. Van Dijk step up, Salah step up. Gabriel Saliba
steps up towards the end of the season.
We don't have those. We don't have those guys.
Salah don't step up towards the end of the season. We know this.
Thank you, Don.
Yeah?
Thank you.
I do think towards the end of the season. We know this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Cole Palmer would actually step up whatever month it was. I would believe that. He'll be there.
You know what I mean?
And remember, when it comes to winning,
being humble, since Haaland said about being humble, he ain't scored a goal, blood.
Boy.
Why are you doing this, bro?
Those teams
I'm just telling you lot the facts, bro. I'm just telling you lot.
Bro, those teams are capable of winning 10 games on the trot.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if you know who you're fucking with.
Bro, why does he want smoke? We don't want that smoke.
Bro, we need to lie under the radar for a bit.
We're talking about 5 wins in a row or 6 wins in a row in all competitions, including Barrow, including Ghent. I'm talking about 10 Premier League fixtures on the trot. W after W after W after W. I know you're in your bag right now. I know you're smelling blood. I know you see weaknesses, but you have to respect the graft and the grind of the Premier League title race, and it ain't for everyone. That's all I'm saying.
I'm actually right with the chat.
The only thing I'll say to kind of give to kind of add to Dan's point, when you look at our squad depth, why can't we do it?
Hey, do you know why we can't? Because we need to see it.
Bro. All right, cool. So that bottom row is the row of moving mad today. Does anybody else in the top row want to join them? Because I can switch this up and then.
I'm at that little horse.
Tobes?
Let the little horse ride under the radar.
Okay, right. So top row is little horse. We need to drink, we need to eat, we need to be clothed, we need to be fed, we need to be roof over our heads. This row on the bottom, they want to go racing. They want to go racing.
Ready, 100 meters,
okay,
right now.
Okay, no problem.
The thing is, Matisse. The thing is, when I'm even talking about these teams, I don't want our players to be looking at them. Just look at what we're about to face and do your job. Right?
Yeah,
that's how you beat Pep. These Arsenal fans, they worry about Pep too much because it's like, how are you gonna beat Pep, bro? Don't worry about Pep. Worry about what you're doing. And then you worry about Pep when you play him.
Yeah,
I'm so
one
tired
game at
of
a
them,
time.
you know?
One game at a time.
I'm so tired of these lot, yeah, genuinely piss me off. I've had some of them say to me, yesterday. Why would Arteta ever leave us to take the Man City job? Because without Pep, they only win the title once every 3 years. I'm like, you haven't won it for 20 years. Why would a manager not want a job where he wins it once every 3 years? They're like, yeah, but look at what he's built with us. We've been challenging consistently. They literally view this as a trophy, and I don't want us to become that.
What I find mad is like we will all laugh at Spurs, right? They laugh at Spurs, but they celebrate putting the pressure on. Like that's what the Pochettino Spurs team was. It was like, oh, they just put the pressure on. Like that's Arsenal have just put the pressure on. They don't do anything in the cups. They don't do anything in Europe. They just put the pressure on City a bit and then go, oh yeah, we can't beat Pep. It's like, well, you didn't beat Fulham at home or away last season, and you would have won the league if you'd done that. So.
And if you remember, like Arsenal, when they first competed, right, they were outscoring teams. They were playing some very good football. And then what happened for them was their mentality, right? They lost against West Ham. So they drew against West Ham. They drew against Southampton. And they let Man City catch up with them because they didn't do their job. If they'd done their job, they would have won the league. They didn't do the job. And like I keep telling you, look, no one expected them to go and challenge, bro. I didn't even put them in my top 4 and they finished second, right? So what I'm saying right now is if the opportunity is there, pounce on it. Don't be looking at it and saying we're in phase 1, we're in phase 2. We're not fucking Arsenal, blood. Yeah, we're fucking Chelsea. You know what I'm saying?
I do see that. I do see a similarity though. I was just going to say the back end that season where they came 5th, right? I was when half of us were banned from going to the bridge. I was at the game where we played Arsenal. They won like 4-2, but you could see the signs there in like their attack, how they were going forward. So when they were like that the following season, you're a bit like, I guess we kind of had a bit of the warnings. That's kind of what I'm seeing with us now, where I'm like, we're showing people warnings. Like, we are coming, but...
Listen, anybody who knows me, I'm not afraid to go for the jugular. When Lukaku came and he said, I'm back and I'm better and I'm in business and we just won the Champions League, I was ready to go, ready to rumble. But the strategy of signing a lot of young players consistently and bringing them in time and time again, that has to come with learning curves, development, mistakes. That is what I'm saying. We're not signing bulletproof, ready-made gunmen to go. That's my thing. So that means it takes more time to get to the top. Not saying we won't get there, but it takes time. There will be learning curves.
Let me ask you a question.
Weakness.
That's
what I'm saying. You can't.
Haaland goes down right now for Man City. Yeah, Haaland goes down for Man City right now. Yeah, there's no Julian Alvarez. There's no Julian Alvarez no more. Who comes in for him, bro?
Bro, it's Pep Guardiola.
They'll false mind.
I don't know.
They'll put that. Yeah, I was going to say Gundogan or Foden.
I'm not able to answer that. I'm not able to answer that. All I'm able to say is I'm being so genuine when I say Man City's drop-off is maybe, okay, not 90 points, 82 points. When was the last time we hit 80 plus points, guys? Even under Tuchel with Jorginho, Kovacic, all those guys.
We hit 76.
When was the last time we hit 80 plus points?
It was the league win, yeah.
The last time we hit 80 plus points, not 90, 80 was under Conte. And you, man, in the chat are trying to call me crazy for telling you that a team that didn't even get mid-60s to get Champions League last season is now going to get 90 or high 80s. Come on, guys. I would love to be there with you. I would love to. I go onto these panels. You think I don't want to absolutely cook the living daylights out of all these men? But I'm not going to lie on camera. I'm not going to do it. If I thought we was ready, I'd say it. But that gap and that gulf is not getting closed in one season.
Nah,
if it happens, I'm here, but it ain't in my
by
opinion.
January, they'll show us if they're ready to go and do that. Like I've said, yeah,
They will.
I think we've got the quality. I think we've got the quality, right?
They're all saying I'm shook.
So many little intangibles. There's bare intangibles, bro. Go on, Tobes.
Yeah, I was going to say, even when Klopp, they first started kicking on, they finished 4th, and then the next season it was like they got 97 points, and they didn't win the league, obviously, but they won the Champions League. Like, we just have to have a season like that where by the end of it, you just feel like, no, we can go now. Like, we're one or two signings away.
Tobes is right as well, and I think if we do kick on this year, we'll need to have a Cole Palmer-esque season from a Felix, from an Nkunku, from a Jackson, someone that we're not expecting right now to kick on and be that difference maker.
Yeah, that's
because, and to be fair, we know, if Joao Felix gets his stupid brains switched on and plays to the potential that he has, or Neto plays to the potential that he has, or Nkunku just comes in and starts banging, The talent's there. It's a matter of just unlocking it. And you know what? I don't like how we went from no, we're going to be humble to done now, getting me thinking about this on a Sunday night at 10. I don't like it. Stop it, bro.
We're on the radar down here.
Hey, listen, Alexis, I'm putting you up there, bro.
You know what it is about Matisse, bro? It's Robbie. Robbie gets into his head. Robbie tries to press him. Robbie tries to press him every time, yeah. And Matisse crumbles. He crumbles. He's like, nah, I'm not in there. I'm not in there. Right now, but Matisse, keep it up.
You know what it is? Alexis said it at the start of the stream, and he's lost his way. He's lost his head, and it's fine.
Hey, it's a Ponzi scheme. It's a Ponzi scheme. He's got me signed up.
You know when you get that. Look, hold on. You know when you get that link on Twitter. And it says, oh, there's a brand deal. Would you like to be involved? And you click the link, and now your Twitter's hacked. Alexis just got hacked. At the start, he was reading the message of Don. He was reading it meticulously. He said, oh, I like that, but not too sure about that. Oh, let me double check it. Let me send it on to a friend. Let's really do our due diligence. He's now clicked the link. Alexis's Twitter has been hacked. I'm not getting my Twitter hacked by Don because he's on a madness today. I'm not on it. Now, listen, I would love to, but I'm just saying, we're not there yet. We're just not. And I'm not going to be reactionary because that's what's happening right now. We're getting a bit reactionary.
Yeah.
What happens if we get Sancho the season when he had 20 plus goals and assists?
Yeah, you're lost.
What happens if we get the Nkunku of RB Leipzig scoring week in, week out and add it to Palmer?
You want a cannon?
Come on, guys.
You want a cannon before he left Matisse? Wait, you know what I'm saying? He won the golden boot, man.
What happens?
Yeah, he won the golden boot before he left.
Yeah, bro. What happened?
You lot are gone. You're gone.
If you said though, if you went,
Nkunku's not even starting, and you're talking about golden boot. You know how many goals
Nkunku's getting 20 goals this year without playing in the Prem. Do you know how mad that is?
All jokes aside, all I'm saying is with the level of talent that's in this squad, if we can somehow unlock it at the right time, and Nkunku and Felix can impose the potential that we know they have into this squad. Man, at that point, I'm saying everything with chest. I'm with Don right there, saying everything with chest. Because what's gonna stop it? Arsenal don't have a forward line. They have a defense, but they don't have a forward line. If Haaland goes down, Don has a point.
It's peak, man. He gets most of their goals, bro. If Bukayo goes down for a long period of time with no Odegaard, with no Martin, bro, it's Raheem the Dream.
I can't believe this is
Raheem the Dream.
But you know what?
Let me tell you something. If Saka's out for a while, it's now time for Raheem the Dream. Yeah. By the way, people, his son's a Chelsea fan because I saw his son at the game the other day, and I asked the guy he was with. He said he's a Chelsea fan. Right? They're gonna be dependent on Raheem, who should be in Saudi. Yeah. Kai Havertz to carry them. He's been doing well, to be fair. And Martinelli. That's going to be their attack. And they're going to have no Odegaard as well, right? If that was our attack, we'll be getting fried, bro. We'll be getting cooked, yeah? Arsenal, the main thing Arsenal have over Chelsea is their defense, bro. Is their centre-backs. That's the main thing they have over us, right? And time. And the fact they play together longer. That's the main thing. They're more of a team because they play together longer and they're set pieces.
Hey, we are so getting clipped on this no context TV.
Clip me now.
Hold on. Hey, they can clip me, bro. They can clip me, bro. Arsenal a better team.
Sorry, I can't eat. That's my headphones.
Arsenal a better team because they play together longer.
We're about to wrap up, but we will not go any further without bringing in someone with experience, someone who's been about the block, somebody that can calm the people down potentially to see clearly. Because I'm blind, so maybe I'm not the one. Now, Guni, I'm going to put you full screen and I just want you to give a message. They're trying to say that we're going to be potentially the team that could disturb the establishment for a title race if we're there or thereabouts by January. What are your initial reactions to that?
First of all, I know the person who brought this up was definitely Don. This is Don's agenda, 1,000%, 100%. The next thing I'll say is you lot need to just pump the brakes a little bit, man. Just calm down. Yes, we've seen a bit of good form. Yeah, but don't forget what we've seen 18 months beforehand. Yeah, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice. You know the saying how it goes. Just wait, man. Wait for a bit of some consistency. Yeah, some more consistency actually. We've got a run of difficult games that are coming up. Do you know what I mean? Let's just see how we perform, man. At this point in time, I'm just taking shit one game at a time. I ain't getting excited. You know what I mean? I'm not getting too excited. I like what I'm seeing, but I'm not getting too excited. The time to get excited, people, is when we're talking like maybe February, March, towards that end. You know what I mean? If we're still doing remarkable things by then, if we're still within touching distance, then the conversation becomes more realistic. Yeah, right now, things are still early. Don't ever forget there was one season with Tommy T, yeah, absolutely flying up until December. What happened? Chilwell, Reece James out. Everything was just done out. So just wait. Let's just calm down a little bit, people.
Remember the caveat to Dan's message was January, February. So Guni is technically with us. So
Yeah, exactly.
I said February, March. Yeah, February, March. Yeah.
Hey, Guni,
You change your
another
tone
thing.
in January. You change your tone. I know Guni's gonna start asking for us to go bring Barella and all these, man. You're gonna start asking for that in January, bro. Yeah, if you see us up there, you're gonna start begging for it. You're gonna start begging for it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Alexis jumped on the train, so you'll be on that train soon as well, bro. Don't worry.
No. Hey, Alexis put a foot in and took a foot back out. I just realized what happened. My antivirus came out and said, no, this isn't working.
Well, listen,
but we've got a good team, man. I think we're scarred. We're mentally scarred, innit? But when you actually deep it, like I speak to a lot of my boys that aren't even on YouTube and that, and they say, bro, you lot are fucking cooking, bro. Like they're jealous of the squad depth that we have. It's just about putting it together and hopefully boosting it in January, bro. That's where it is for us.
Well, before we wrap up, because it's been a very long stream, but Guni just got it. So, Guni, I just want a summarize of the season so far for you, maybe manager and players. Like, how are you feeling right now? Just an update for the people.
All right. So, in one word or two words, I would say, well, no, I won't say that. I'll just say they've exceeded my expectations. I'll say that. To be fair, they've started the season very well. Maresca for me was very much an unknown element. I was one of the ones complaining, another unknown manager. Why are we doing this? You know what I mean? But he's done well so far. It looks like the players are buying into his football. I like the way he is also treating players as well, like players that have been renowned to have long-term injuries. He's not rushing them back. He's using the squad depth pretty well, I think, and injuries is a problem that we've been having over the past 18 months. So to see like a manager come in and actually, put that high in his priority list in terms of looking after players and not rushing them back, I think that's fantastic. And that will definitely, while he's here, that will definitely be a massive thing for us. It'll be a good thing for us. We've been scoring goals. Cole Palmer it's just picked up from where he's left off. In fact, I feel he's improving. Yeah, I know to some people say, how can his ceiling grow even more? I feel like he's improving. I honestly feel like his confidence carry on over from last season. And then obviously to see more players being added to the squad, I think that's galvanized a lot of our players. But yeah, honestly, they've exceeded my expectations. I'm going to be fair and say it. But again, I need to calm myself down. I need to calm down. I want to see this next run of games because this is where we're going to really see if we've turned a major corner. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, but outside of that, I'm happy so far. I'm happy.
You know what kills me about Guni? Yeah, you know what kills me about Guni, Matisse? Because I purposely, because bro, I watch Arsenal weekly, I watch United weekly, I watch Liverpool weekly. I've been purposely showing this guy their lineups, right? Because he loves to. He was cooking us all summer about our team. Now, when you look at Arsenal's bench, Guni, imagine if that was our bench, you'll be absolutely frying us. The other day, I showed him their lineup.
Absolutely,
I showed him their lineup. Hold on, Guni. I showed you their lineup. Arteta had to make 3 subs against Southampton. The Marty Gooners were struggling against Southampton, right? Who are bottom of the league, have scored less goals than Man United. Right? I had to show you their team. Yeah. And in the end, they ended up winning that game from some stupid bozo moments from their defenders, bro. Right? So all I'm saying is, yeah, let's look at every team fairly. I know Chelsea have given us PTSD and that, but these other teams that we're up against, they're not perfect, bro. If you watch Man City, you know Man City, you can get at them. Even Fulham the other day were running at them, bro. Running at them. They had bare chances.
Don, I'll say this. This is where I'll agree with you. Both Manchester City and Arsenal don't look as good as they did last season. But again, It's still early. It's still early. So
Liverpool for me have been. out of those teams, probably been the most convincing team. They deserve to be where they are right now. Like I actually look at a balanced team with Liverpool. With Man City, I'm again, like I said, on the transition, we get cooked for being run through. They get run through a lot. Yeah, and Arsenal for me in attack, I'm still not overly convinced. Apart from Saka and Havertz, there's no one else up there that I'm really looking at.
But you know the biggest problem is, right? I hear everything you're saying. I love it. But even after 7 games, we're still behind them. No matter how good our season has been, we're still behind them. So, so that's why it's now we're going into 4 games like we spoke about. If we come out with 10 points, do you know what? We far exceeded anyone's expectations here, I'm guessing, right? Because it would be around about, 11 games at this moment in time, and we'll be comfortably in top 4 and within reach of top place, and then reassess the season. But
wait, hang on,
now,
is that true?
I'm going to be fair.
Alexis, City concern says City have conceded the same amount of goals as us. That's true, yeah?
Yeah, they have 8 and 8. We've conceded 8. Arsenal conceded 6. Liverpool 2.
You see what I'm saying, people? You see what I'm saying?
Well, like Brighton at home, we smashed. Arsenal dropped points there, and the 2 wins they've had last minute against Leicester, home to Southampton, like those are nice games. Those are games where you pad the goal difference.
Tobes, we beat Wolves. We beat Wolves.
What's going on?
Get me up here. Get me up here.
Listen, I need to cut this because I don't really know what's going on.
Listen, put it this way, Matisse. We smoked Wolves for 6. Arsenal beat them for 2 at home, right? They drew to Brighton with 10 men. Cool. We battered them for 4, right? Who else is there?
Liverpool snuck past Wolves with a pen.
Liverpool lost to Forest. Liverpool lost to Forest as well.
We drew.
You know what I'm saying? And we battered them. In fact, you know what I'm saying?
Guni, when you're internet certified, someone's already asked. I'm gonna go through the rest of the super chat. Someone's already asked, will this show be back? Allow me to cut the thing. Allow me to chat to the boys. Allow me to find out how we can make it work, because I feel like I need to be in conversation with these gentlemen, these fine gentlemen, very soon again. So let's just park this chat, because after everything that's been said, I feel like it's there's a lot going on. I'm having to move people up and down on the screen. 1 minute Alexis is in, then he's out. Now Tobes is in. I don't really know what Don's doing, but he's moving mad now and he's starting to run things. So yeah, let me just read out these super chats and we'll cut it. But Tobes, I don't know what happened to you there last few minutes.
I'm buying in, man. I'm buying it. Maresca and Don have convinced me.
Yeah, Guni's got to put the gloves on, bro. He's like, yo, he's got to put the gloves on. This super chat says, I can't see us winning the league with Jackson as the main striker. That was said previously as well. I know Guni's not a massive Jackson, believer in terms of being the focal point, the main man for a whole season, which I do get with the finishing. Especially if we're talking about titles, we're not talking about top 4. That's a different conversation.
Couldn't have said it better.
Yeah, they called Don deluded in the summer for praising Maresca in the summer. Now he thinks we have a chance for a title. Seeing the same conclusions. Don, keep it up.
We will, Ramadan. Big yourself up, man.
Have you got a group name? Don, the Dare to Don. Okay. Dare to Don.
Mafia.
Instead of the Dare to Do, it's the Dare to Don. I need you not to spam that in the chat. Dare to Don. Yeah.
They're calling me the salesman, bruv.
No, man, Dan Mafia.
I'm doing door-to-door sales, I made hella sales today, bruv.
Yo, bro, he's selling. People are buying. Damn. Okay, I like it though. Much love, Matisse. You guys looking forward to playing Spurs Hairline? What are your thoughts on Andrew and Spurs' worst start to the season in 17 years? Chelsea quietly looking good. Listen, when it comes to Spurs, all I have to say is that I don't expect us to be below you at the end of the season. Even last season, I was quite furious that we ended up behind you, right? And we almost clawed it back. But
hold on, is that Sava?
Yeah, that's Sava. Yeah.
My guy, Sava.
Furious. So
they lost more games than us. And they
so
over
for me,
60 goals, just like us.
For me, you started the season how I expect. You score sometimes, you entertain, but you're leaky as well at the same time. And Werner's still as terrible as I remember. And that's just the height of it. But we do need to wrap up. we are gonna wrap up because I feel the brothers on playback that are like, yo, I ain't gonna catch this later. I'm gonna do timestamps for you, but that's a long one. So good luck. I hope you got time allocated. Let's go through everybody's channels. Tobes, I'll start with you, bro. Let the people know where to find you. Shout out your work, your content, and the people can go and sub, man.
Cheers. Yeah, so YouTube is, well, you can type in Tobes or TikTok mate, which is the same as my TikTok. And I think my Twitter name is just my name, Toby Evenden. You'll find it with Tobes, basically. You'll figure it out.
100%. There you go, guys. Listen, all the links will be added in the description as soon as the show's after. Just getting that all done now. Don, let the people know where to find you, bro. It's been a pleasure. What a show.
Hey, what a show, man. That was a good way to wrap up my Sunday, man. But listen, big up the chat. Obviously, big up Tobes, big up Javon, big up Alexis, Guni every time, Matisse. But yeah, on Twitter, at Greasy Don, you always see me there rattling people, man. And YouTube, Don CFC, man, we're nearly on 5K. So yeah, you lot, make sure you're subscribing.
100%. Javon, let the people know where to find you, bro. Been a pleasure as always.
And that's the Final Whistle. Sana, follow me on the Final Whistle podcast. Get me to 1K sub. I'm almost there. You know what we do. One-on-one ball knowledge, everybody. We get people on, see how they see football through their eyes. Ball knowledge up. And reviews, previews, and some tactics talk. So follow, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff.
Alexis, bro, let the people know. Pleasure as always, man.
Thank you for having me, man. I had a great time. The Kafka's view. So nearly 40K is getting there. We're crawling up there. But if you want short form Chelsea content, every single day you'll have something to talk about. What's in the news, I will be covering, telling you whether it's lies or whether I believe it. It's a bit of fun, light-hearted banter.
Love that. And Guni, bro, let the people know where to find you, bro. Pleasure.
Listen, these days I'm everywhere. Do you know what I mean? I'm like one of them walkout cards on FIFA. So you just see me. You get me? You just when you see me, yeah, you just be happy to see me. Yeah, you don't know. But I do wanna jump on again next week. You better run this again next week, yeah? Because I already told Verizon. If you mess up my internet next week, I ain't gonna be happy. I'm gonna turn up to their headquarters. So we're gonna make it happen. Yeah, 100%. So people, like, you might see me on Saeed, you might see me with Matisse, you might see me on League Gunner. I'm everywhere. I'm that walkout card.
Love that. Guys, subscribe to the channels, smash up the likes, and listen, let me talk with the boys and let me see what I can sort. But this it sounds like it's got legs because the comments are going off. And Don has set the standard, you know what I mean? And yeah, Tobes is talking now too. Javon's juggling. Yeah, I mean, this is okay. All right, okay.
We're all gonna be up here in a bit.
Yeah, okay. Listen, I don't know if StreamYard layout lets that happen, but we'll see. You know what I mean? Until next time, big up your damn selves. In a bit, people. Peace. Come on.